Chapter 4672. Chapter 4672. But Long Fei, with a few regrets on his face. A punch is just a disability. The boss is really a boss. Even if it is a world rule, there should not be such a big gap. However, but this repair is enough. If a punch does not die, then there will be more punches. Long Fei speaks to himself. But in this case, every word that hears the ear is like a blue sky. He does not know what boss is. But I can understand that Long Fei has given birth to him. Moreover, he also knows that the power of Long Fei is suddenly bursting. Under this cultivation, it is only a matter of time to kill himself. I can't help it at all. You, who are you? There was no such thing as you in the ancient times. Are you a saint disciple and want to kill them? The screaming sound opened. The shadow of the heart is getting richer and thicker. In the face of Long Fei, there is only fear. The previous arrogance and arrogance, all disappeared. He even suspected that this is what Long Fei deliberately made, playing pigs and eating tigers. If he can know that Long Fei is this cultivation, he will recognize it when he comes up, and he will never take the initiative. But now, it's already late. Long Fei is not moving. Sage disciple? It doesn't exist at all. Understand the cultivation system of this world, even in front of the saints. Long Fei also wants to wrestle his wrist. So for the embarrassing words, Long Fei has no feeling at all. You have too much nonsense. Don't you just let Laozi be a slave? Long Fei's eyes were cold and he smiled lightly. It's the saint in your mouth. If you don't recognize it, he is a fart. On your own, dare to swear to Laozi. Long Fei opened again. Completely defeat the psychological defense of the cockroach. Do not. Adults are small and have no eyes on Mount Tai. I quickly opened my mouth. What can be answered is just a punch. Hey. Long Fei hit a fist on the top of his head. Roar. Rumble. The huge body was directly hit by the end, and the barbs were directly bombarded by Long Fei, and blood was dripping. No. Among them, I once again asked for mercy. In the voice, I couldn't stop shaking. Can Long Fei, still a punch? Hey. As if to confirm his previous words, if you can't make a punch, there will be more punches. Therefore, at this time, became a giant beast sandbag. One punch and one punch. Hey. Hey. The blood of the top of the skull is also in the strength of this punch, one layer after another. Until the last punch fell. The blood of the cockroach goes straight to the bottom. Just tap it. Explode directly. The dragon's mouth sneered at the corner of the mouth, picking it up, and the color of expectation came to light. Although I don't know if you are such a dish, how can you become a boss? But after all, it is a boss, the most unsatisfactory, can bring a little experience. Give me a burst. The dragon flew at the corner of his mouth and the punch fell again. Boom. The power of shackles swept away. Long Fei is even ready to wait for the sound of the system. However, the change is sudden. Long Fei's punch was directly imprisoned. Yes, it is imprisoned. Life stays in the void. In an instant, Long Fei scorpion ice cold. The anger is rising. Suddenly looking up, I was seeing a vague figure, appearing on my body, staring at myself coldly. Brush. In an instant, the dragon flies in a shock. The heart sinks. Puff. Suddenly, a stream of blood is directly ejected. This look, Long Fei is wrong. I thought it was over, but I didn't expect it to just begin. There is no doubt that there is already a thought in Long Fei's mind. That is, the figure that appeared in front of the eyes is the special power that the system sister said before. I have to say that this kind of existence, that is, Long Fei, feels shocked. Although he hasn't shot it yet, he can stand alone and can't even bombard the past with his invincible punch. Moreover, a look can make your own soul tremble. If it is a real shot, the power of terror can be imagined. At this time, the last breath of the embarrassment suddenly came to the spirit. It seems to be a straw. Hey, the devil is saving lives. This child goes against the sky, trying to take care of the holy life and set me to death. The demon emperor must not let him go. I am crying and crying. There are still some ambiguities and arrogance before. It was like a child who was aggrieved and went to the parents to complain. Longfei's eyes are tight, a terrible guess, appearing in his mind, the demon, son-in-law. The idea came out, that is, Longfei was shocked. He thought about it the moment before, and when he met the saint, he just happened. I did not expect that, in a blink of an eye, it really appeared. Do you know Sin? At this time, the illusory figure is open. Unreal figure, sullen eyes. But Longfei, there is a feeling, as if the whole body is seen through. Straight in front of this person's eyes. Extremely unhappy. The saint is so powerful. The eternal life. Give me a drive. Longfei's heart is no longer suppressed, and a pair of scorpions release the light between them, directly colliding with the goddess' eyes. Boom. Mars hits the earth. At this moment, whether it is Longfei or the virginity, it's all a step backwards. However, Longfei regressed, just regressing. And this illusion is almost collapsed. Cool. Longfei breathed a deep breath, dull depression, and finally got released. It's really cool to kill the sage of a saint. Let's let go. The ant's body is actually dare to shoot. Nearly broken virtual shadow, Shen Sheng said. Among the icy voices, there is endless anger. Saint. What about the saint? Is it hard to stand up and let you play? And then I am giving you peace of mind. A charming face asterisk 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 the wound and says a thank you Lord Ron. Going to the sage of Nimmer, I am not so embarrassed. Longfei is not rude to look back. What about the saints? From the dragon to the earth, the system has a mission. Longfei has a feeling that he will be an enemy of the whole world. Therefore, who is the other party is irrelevant. Even the saints are the same. Ignorance, I was only 1,000 years ago, the atmosphere of the saints. If the saint shot, do you think you are still qualified to stand and talk? Do you think that hurting me is very powerful? If the maiden is shot, the finger will destroy you. The saint is irreversible, and you are dead. The virtual shadow said coldly. The voice is extremely angry. Obviously, for Longfei to dare to shoot him, even disrespectful to the saint, so that her heart is extremely uneven. Irreversible? Jokes, in Laozi's dictionary, there is no use of two words. What about saints? Blocking Laozi Road, it is dead. But unfortunately, you will never see it. Give me death. Longfei was also provoked by the real fire. If you don't say anything, you will immediately punch a punch. Chapter 4673. Chapter 4673. Above the Lushan Mountain, outside the Lock Demon Tower. Everyone is ashamed. There is Xiao Yue, no one dares to leave. Xiao Yue's words are the last night for them. Who left and who died? In this case, no one dares to move. Some people are already overwhelmed, and the pain falls to the ground, pretending to be a painful appearance, trying to inspire Xiao Yue's sympathy. It is a pity that it is mediocrity. Xiao Yue's heart is only Longfei. In the eyes, there is only the Lock Demon Tower. As for the fish, there was a bit of tension on his face. His eyes locked the Lock Demon Tower. Like a statue. How can the boss not come out? Is there something wrong? No, the boss is so strong, a sword will destroy the old guy of the fairy door of Lushan, certainly there will be nothing. Li Yu kept talking to himself. A look of anxiety. It is at this time. A burst of empty brushing appeared. Then, it was the 9 figures that came down. Brush. 9 people landed at the same time. Directly appeared in front of Xiao Yue. See the saint. 9 people, opening at the same time. Even if they are now a ghost, they have already made a choice. At this time, they saw Xiao Yue, who is still very respectful. I dare not show the slightest arrogance. Xiao Yue's face is unchanged, faintly turned, gently sighed. Then there is no more sound. As if, there is no slight feeling for their arrival. Zhong Rong and Sin 3 looked at each other, and the sorrow in their hearts was even more intense. But Li et al., but they are shaking their hearts. The anger was born above the heart. The saint, I am waiting for the fate of the first, let you go back and discuss this as the change of the day, the strategy of the birth of Xianmen. Li Yu said with a voice. In front of Xiao Yue, although I dare not let go. But I thought about it and pulled out Yang Shoshi directly. I don't even care about Yang Shoshi even if I think about Xiaoye. However, he is wrong. If it was before, Xiao Yue might accept it. But now, in the eyes of Xiao Yue, only Longfei. Nothing else cares. I don't need to know about this thing, you are free. Xiao Yue said indifferently. Even the face did not turn around. Li Yu. Zhong Rongxing looked at the expression of Li Yong and others who dared to speak out, and the heart secretly deserved it. Oh, take your own shame. Don't look at what the saint is doing. Do you think you can do whatever you want? Zhong Rongxi secretly passed the voice to the people around him. No, you are wrong. This is not what you want to do. This is called a tiger. I have to see what he can do today. Another person responded. Like Zhong Rongxuan, he is a person who stands firmly on the stand of Xiao Yue. Or, they are not the dogs that Li is jealous of when he sees the bones. Forgot who it was and gave them today. At this time, Li Yu looked at Xiao Yue, who was indifferent, and his eyes were very gloomy. The saint, I am telling you, don't you be imprisoned by people who are on the top of the mountain today? Will you leave it to a demon? Li Yu said faintly. The sound seems dull. However, it is full of arrogance, faint, as questioning. This sentence is to let the people above the Lushan mountain suddenly come to the spirit. Hit the chicken blood, one by one, and the dragon is alive. Guarding the adults, save us. The saints actually limit us for the devil. When the evil spirit comes out, we will die. Yes, the law-abiding adults, we know that this must not be the original intention of the saint. Just let us leave, we are willing to forgive the saint. A sentence. Directly permeated in the emptiness of Lushan. Seeing this scene, Li Yu's mouth smirked. This result is exactly what he wants. I don't believe, you can still be indifferent. Li was thinking about it. Next, as long as Xiao Yue compromised, he would let Xiao Yue go back in the name of Yang Shoshi. However, if Xiao Yue is still cold, he also let him go back in the name of Yang Shoshi. But in name, it is a sin. Zhong Rong and his two people, their faces changed. Anger is breeding on the face. Give me shut up. We talk, do you have a mouthful? Zhong Rongxi sighed and wanted to stop the chaos at this time. However, he still underestimated the hearts of the people. In the face of life and death, let alone be a saint, even if it is a god, they cannot be in the eyes. How? Is it possible to protect our lives and deaths? Can a saint simply influence our destiny? We are the victims. Yes, we must give us an account. Suddenly, the crowd is even more turmoil. Li is in the eyes and smiles more intensely. Taking advantage of this, I quickly said, the saint, are you really confused by the demon? Want to give up the heavens and the earth? Li Yu went further and bowed his knees. The posture is extremely low. But still can't hide it, the words in the words. At this time, Xiao Yue was slightly frowning. Then, cold turned around. How do I want to? Do you still have to tell you? Xiao Yue responded coldly. The expression is indifferent. The atmosphere is also a cold field at this moment. Between the whole world, all the sounds disappear and the needles can be heard. And in contrast, at this time, in the Lock Demon Tower, Longfei violently punches. After a punch and scatter the sage of the sage, do not stop. Then immediately, another punch is made. Directly licking, the last trace of blood is destroyed. Hey, congratulations to the players to kill the ancient beasts. Get 300 points of experience, 30 points of spiritual source, 1 point of invincibility. Hey, congratulations to the players for getting blood. Hey, congratulations to the players for their strength. Hey, congratulations to the player for the power of the saint, a trace. The system sounds constantly appearing. The anger in Longfei's heart also vanished. Looking at the experience with more than half, the eyes are shining. So, in my mind, it has emerged before the win. That is the breakthrough, then come to the earth. Of course, the situation is urgent, and it is necessary to come early. Now, the distance is further upgraded, and the distance win is even closer. As for the power of the dragonfly, Longfei did not use it. This power is equivalent to nothing and no effect to him now. It is better to keep the fish. It is also good for Li Yu to grow up quickly. But the power of the last saint was to let Longfei. There was a strange look in his eyes. System sister, the power of the saint, why is there only a trace? Longfei is very depressed. The illusion that appeared before is extremely extraordinary. Therefore, Longfei is directly defined as the sage's avatar, so a burst of power bursts at this time. Let Longfei suffer from extreme pain. Master, that is a trace. Don't you hear the phantom, just a force that was left a few thousand years ago? The system girl said with a playful look. And Longfei, his eyes are a meal. Worry is emerging. Chapter 4674. Chapter 4674. This result makes Longfei's heart very impactful. A trace. A trace of holy power has such a powerful force. If it is a true saint, how strong. Longfei's eyes are dignified. This result directly subverts his previous decision. That is, even if he is full of firepower, it may be difficult to suppress the saints. I wipe, is the saint so strong? In the heart of Longfei, it was a shocking wave. Master, you don't have to be arrogant, your way is the way to reverse. Everything is in front of the enemy. Is it different in your hands? This time, it is the same. The system sister voice appears. It is to cheer for Longfei. Longfei suddenly laughed and laughed. He was emotional, not because of fear. But to say, some surprises. Even, it is expected. Now things are already clear. Only the embarrassment of this sage power can be called a boss. If you don't have the power of this sage, you can count on yourself as an elite monster. And with the death of the cockroach, the entire 6th layer is empty. Everything is calm. The last layer. Longfei's gaze must be, stepping up. The 7th floor. The demon's demon is natural, and the degree of richness is horrifying. It's Longfei, and I've never seen such a pure demon. Even, Longfei feels that if there is a demon in this space, even if you are lying down and sleeping, it will take a few years to get the road and crush the world. However, this power is useless to him. Even saying that with his power attributes, it doesn't fit. Therefore, Longfei has no interest at all. System sister, is it possible to form a demon army? Longfei frowned, and said to the system sister in her heart. This locks the 7 layers of the demon tower, making Longfei instantly itch. This breath is too horrible. In other words, this is the resource. Today, he also has a system for the death of the soul, with a skeleton of the bones. Therefore, after seeing the 7th floor of the Lock Demon Tower, an idea came out in my heart, that is, the formation of a demon army. Master, this is not realistic. But after the master conquered the Lock Demon Tower, it was purposeful to pick a few demons, to reshape the life of them, to become the only demon between the world. The system sister said. Longfei shrugged, bored. This idea is just a gesture. Now I heard the system sister said, but it feels good. Between the faint, in the mind of Longfei, red, elegant, and, for a time, the evil mind emerged. Master, you smile so much. At this moment, the voice of the system sister appeared again, looking at Longfei with a smile. In the expression, there is still faintness and shyness. Cough. Longfei's face is red. Do business first. Longfei shifts the topic and suppresses the whimsy in his heart. In turn, I looked at the 7th floor space in front of me. Come out, since Laozi has come here, do you think you can hide? Longfei's voice was cold and faint. He already felt that this 7th layer had no souls. Yes, I am afraid that there is only the towering spirit of the Lock Demon Tower. Call. Booming. For a moment, the sound of Longfei fell. The violent demon in the 7th layer suddenly became more violent, like a wild horse. Gradually, a black figure emerged with the help of demon. Not human. Not a demon. Not a fairy. No magic. You, what is it? The black shadow looks at Longfei up and down. Every time I say one, the mood will fluctuate a bit. Wait until the end, almost collapsed, horrified questioning. Longfei's eyes were cold. A spirit, not good to find your own position, you dare to marry me. Long Fei is cold and open. At the same time, the direct shot, the power of creation shocks, this horrible demon gas suppression, directly cut off the direction of the spirit escape. But at the same time, directly reach out and pinch the instrument in the hands. After all, anyone who is jealous of someone else will be angry. What's more, Long Fei. No, do not want. I just saw your fate just now. You know that there is a root in the earth, but the life is already beyond the realm. So, it will be scared. I didn't marry you. The spirit is open for mercy and panic. Long Fei's mood is slightly relieved. This explanation, although far-fetched, is not unacceptable. The nonsense is good to say. I originally came to lock the demon tower. Give you a chance to follow me, I will bring you a new myth. Long Fei has a pun. The myth repeats itself. Then it will inevitably be a myth. Instead of bringing back the myth that has been overwhelmed. As for tailing, I don't understand. Long Fei does not care. It is good. What makes Long Fei unexpected is that his voice has just fallen, and tailing is directly responsible. As if all the previous things have not happened. Everything is in the water. So simple. Don't you struggle? Didn't you just mean that the monster in the tower blocked me? Long Fei chuckled and said. I don't know who you are, but what is certain is that you are qualified to be my master. Tailing said, there is no hesitation. When Long Fei first appeared, he had thought about Long Fei. Therefore, the ability to lock the demon tower will be used, and the demon will be sent to prevent the dragon from flying. But when you see Long Fei understatement, all the way, and finally the sage and the power of a saint in the body are erased. He knew that everything was doomed. The next moment, Tailing directly handed his soul mark to Long Fei. In other words, from now on, the lock demon tower has changed hands. Long Fei all. Hey, congratulations to the player to get the Lock Demon Tower. Lock Demon Tower, the remnant of the sacred treasures of the sacred treasures, refining the remnants of the pot, and suppressing the evil spirits. The system sounds suddenly. Looking at the description, Long Fei's heart is also excited. Refining the demon pot, the wild treasures. No wonder this Lock Demon Tower can make the system girl value. Long Fei thought of it. But at this time, the words of the system's sister directly let Long Fei's eyes shine. Master, in fact, I let you conquer the Lock Demon Tower. It's not that the Lock Demon Tower itself is so powerful. It said, I can transform the Lock Demon Tower. The system's sister said. Renovation? Long Fei said. Yes, the master, the last generation system, there are still a lot of things left. Among them, there is one, which is extremely powerful. Just because the spirit of it has dissipated, it will be silent. Now, this Lock Demon Tower, just blended with it, can transform the more treasures of the sky. The system's sister said excitedly. Obviously, I am extremely satisfied with this idea. Long Fei is more and more confused. Previous generation system? Fusion Lock Demon Tower, against the god's treasure, what? Long Fei asked. Wan Shen Lu. The system sister said one word at a time. Chapter 4675. Chapter 4675. Above the Lushan Mountain, outside the Lock Demon Tower. The atmosphere is abnormally condensed, and it is extremely cold. Xiao Yue looked like a frost in his eyes, and looked at a few in front of him. Zhong Rongxi is okay, after all, he always stood by Xiao Yue, so Xiao Yue's breath did not aim. But that's it, under this area, it is still unbearable. Are you asking? Xiao Yue has an icy opening. There is a bit of grief in the words. No, don't dare, Li is not afraid. Li Yuqiang endured the pressure of this shocking soul, endless humiliation, and gritted his teeth. If you don't dare, then roll. Xiao Yue said that she took the momentum and said coldly. Brush. Overwhelming the soul, smashing the pressure of the heart, disappeared. Li and others waited for a sigh of relief, as if they had been away from the ghost gate. Looked at Xiao Yue with a very complicated look. The saint, you are strong, but don't forget. This is China. Yang Shou has ordered that you go back. I will wait for you, but I believe that there will be a way for you to go back. Li was extremely unwilling to say. He was extremely reluctant, even humiliating and angry. Because Xiao Yue has always been peaceful, does not fight for it, never cares about the name. In addition to dealing with evil spirits, the thunder will be used. For them, performance has always been no desire, like salted fish. It is also because of this that Li Yu will show the previous arrogance and inferiority. However, he is wrong. Xiao Yue is not angry, not. It is too lazy to pay attention. Now, in a word, he directly touched the steadfastness of Xiao Yue's heart. Are you finished? Xiao Yue replied softly, and then turned around. When you say it, puff. Li Yu only felt the shock of the soul, a blood spurted out of the mouth. Looking at the icy Xiao Yue in front of me, my heart was instantly shrouded in fear. Go, Li said by weakness. There are horror colors in my eyes. It seems that waiting for one more minute is a torture for him. The next moment, Li Yu and others went straight to the front and went away. At this time, the momentum of Xiao Yue's body was scattered, and his eyes returned to the Lock Demon Tower. Zhong Yuci looked at Xiao Yue, who stood in the void, shaking her head slightly, but she still straightened up and came to Xiao Yue, the virgin. Zhong Rongxuan is very respectful. Okay. Xiao Yue nodded slightly. Not much to say, for her, only Longfei is now a big event. As for anything else, it can be thrown away. The saint, Yang Shou, has broken through the Yuan Ying. Zhong Rongzue said. After watching it, he looked at Xiao Yue and wanted to see Xiao Yue's reaction. Xiao Yue's expression is a glimpse. There was a panic in my eyes. But soon, she was suppressed by her. Oh. It is a good thing, the world is changing, the aura is recovering, he can break through. For the Chinese nation, it is a good thing. For the people, it is also a good thing. Xiao Yue responded faintly. The saint, Yang Shou ambitious, I am afraid that he has no respect for you. If it weren't for him, Li wouldn't dare to be so daring if they ate gentian. Zhong Rong's anger said, his face was not awkward. Xiao Yue took a deep breath. Just like a sigh. Silence. Nothing. The people I have waited for are already back. I believe that there is him. In this world, no one can force me to do things that I don't like. Even if he breaks through the Yuan Ying, he is exposed to the Chinese air transport and activates the legendary social artifact, nor does it work. Xiao Yu's tone changes, like a small woman, tenderness, and the water in the throat. However, this change has fallen in the eyes of Zhong Rong and Xin. Just as scared. They always knew that Xiao Yue was waiting for someone. I have been waiting for many years, but I still have no news. Therefore, they instinctively believe that it is a person created by Xiao Yue. A person used to deceive Yang Shouxi. But now, this person really appears. Moreover, they can see from the changes in the face of Xiao Yue. Absolutely not fake. The saint, that person, is it strong? Zhong Yubin asked with a bit of hesitation and asked. Xiao Yue's eyes glimpsed, it's very strong. Full of confidence. It seems that the children are talking about what they have, and what others don't have, they are actively showing off. Zhong Rong and Xin 3 looked at each other. Obviously, I don't believe it at all. But also know that in this case, they cannot be reversed. The saint, we left first. Yang Shou is now a breakthrough, and certainly will not ignore it. You, and take care. Zhong Yuchuang said seriously. Xiao Yue nodded lightly. Later, the three also turned away and followed Li and others. At this time, everyone below, watching the protection of one by one, quietly left. There was a despair on his face. St. the Virgin, can we leave? Someone spoke. Yeah, we are innocent. The law has been said, we are the people of China. You must not mess around, or you will take the world by storm. Don't forget, this rule is what you set. Someone started, and naturally someone started to cater to it. In the face of life and death, they have no scruples. Even the last straw is gone, and their hearts have been filled with despair. So, at this time one by one, began to stimulate with words. I want to let Xiao Yue have a scruples and let them go. But Xiao Yue seems to be unconcerned. If you haven't heard it. The whole scorpion melted into the Lock Demon Tower. Also at this time, a roar. I saw the entire lock demon tower and began to tremble violently. Just like an earthquake, it starts to shake from side to side. I am dying. 2 interest rates. 3 interest rates. After the 3 interest, the entire lock demon tower directly rose to the ground, turned into a blue light, suddenly disappeared. Then, a figure fell from the void. It is Longfei. Boss. Li Yu looked excited. The burden in my heart was finally put down. Longfei smiled and walked slowly. Cannot go past, a voice passed into the ear, Longfei brother. Longfei stepped forward and turned his head. Looking at a trembling figure, the memory gate in my mind instantly opened. Xiao Yue. Longfei's eyes are a joy. There is even a point that I dare not recognize each other. At this time, Xiao Yue has long since faded away from the last time she met, and she is full of a holy atmosphere. Longfei brother. Xiao Yue swiftly swooped, as if it was difficult to suppress the thoughts in his heart, and a fierce move, directly in the arms of Longfei. Longfei hands lifted slightly. Soft and fragrant. In the heart of Longfei, there is a feeling of being incapable of guarding. It's not a hug, it's not a hug. Longfei brother, you are finally here, I know, you will not care about me. Xiao Yue's grievances, deep thoughts, all vented. Chapter 4676. Chapter 4676. At this moment, Longfei no longer hesitated. Tightly hold Xiao Yue in his arms. I am afraid that I will be misunderstood as a negative heart. Although, for Xiao Yue, Longfei has never produced a relationship between men and women. However, Xiao Yue can still remember himself after he squats in the sea, saying that he does not dare to move, it is all fake. For a long time, Xiao Yue finally recovered calm and his face turned red. But still rely on Longfei's arms, for fear that Longfei will leave. This time, I should stay on the earth for a while. And, if I leave, I will naturally take you. Longfei said. It is a comfort. Xiao Yue's eyes are also bright. Really? Xiao Yue is full of expectations and eagerly asks. Of course it's true. Longfei nodded. Said, but also scraped a little Chiong nose, like a pet. Li Fish is on the side, watching the heart fry. I am cow, it is true. The saint is really the boss. Bob. Li Yu's heart was turbulent. He had already had speculation before. My amnesty is a saint. Li Yu's heart suddenly came up with an idea. In an instant, there is no way to stop it. More powerful than before, I saw Xiao Yue in the arms of Longfei. For a time, Li Yu felt that his life had changed. If it was a salted fish before, eat it and die. After encountering Longfei, it was squid. A leaping dragon door, life is changing. Now, look at the relationship between Xiao Yue and Longfei. Li Yu feels that he is a crab, the rhythm of going sideways. A fanatical invincible boss, a saint who guards the country of China, a contemporary goddess with unparalleled strength. What kind of fear is this kind of backing? The more I want to be in the heart of Li Yu, the more excited I am. But suddenly, Li Yu's heart suddenly became tight. Boss, big brother, now is not when you are jealous of me, pay attention to the impact. Li Yu said. Longfei's expression was a sigh of relief, and he took a look at Li Yu. Suddenly, Li Yu appeared a panic. Not the boss, but to say, when you enter the Lock Demon Tower, the Chinese country sent people. If you want to bring the big man back, you have to give a big talk. Li Yu said quickly. In an instant, Longfei's face was cold. Huagua. The eyes are cold. Yeah boss, you don't know what the group of people was stinking. The ungrateful white-eyed wolf, even the one who is at the bottom of my life knows that Huagua can stand up under this world and walk before the world is completely credited. There are still a group of guardian laws. If they are not amnesty, they have the present scenery. Now that I have found the master, I am going to bite. What a special thing. Li Fish roared. I didn't know the relationship between Longfei and Xiaoye before. Li Yu has no touch. It only feels like a ***** fight. There is no relationship with myself. Nowadays, since I know the relationship between Xiao Yue and Longfei, natural anger is unstoppable. Longfei turned his attention to Xiaoye, What happened? Longfei voice has a concern. Of course, don't say that Xiao Yue is not his woman. Just because Xiao Yue is his only relative in the world, it is enough to make Longfei angry. Nothing Longfei brother, but the face is much more. Let some dogs have an illusion, feel that they are a lion. I want to be the master of the other way around. Xiao Yue said in an understatement. A dragon flew, and immediately grinned. I did not expect that I was still eager to think about it. I wished that the little woman who washed her face in tears at night would say this slightly swearing words in a blink of an eye. Hate, Longfei brother. People just don't want you to be down because of my business. Xiao Yue snorted. Even if Shilongfei didn't say anything, he also knew the meaning of Longfei's expression. Your business is naturally my business. They are best praying, there is no follow-up. Otherwise, I will clean up the portal for you. Longfei said. The last time I met on the moon, Longfei knew it. Xiao Yue's identity is special. Of course, this opportunity is also because I once dreamed of returning to the earth, and became attached to Xiao Yue, so that Xiao Yue had the future creation. Therefore, it is conceivable that after these years of change, if it is not the guardian of Xiao Yue, the Chinese nation may have already fallen apart. But now, Xianmen is born, and the aura is recovering. Let the leader of the Chinese state, once guarded by Xiao Yue, have a bit of thought. I feel that I am the tide of this era. But he never thought about it. All this is given by Xiao Yue. Since it can be given, then naturally it can be taken back. As Longfei said, if they don't know how to play and continue to be a demon, then Longfei doesn't mind, clean up the portal. Do not worry, Longfei brother. With his cultivation, there is no need to worry. Even if I got some strength, I couldn't help me. However, I also want to see if Xianmen is born, what choices will he make? Xiao Yue said. The implication is to prepare to sit on the wall. Longfei nodded and didn't care. Then, look at the crowd in front of you. Boss, what about these people? Before the protection of the law in China, it is to take these people as the head and let Daxi give an account. Li Yu snorted. For these people, Li Yu never puts it in his heart. There is a red heart in his heart, and there is no sand in his eyes. So for these people, only disgust and disappointment. But if you kill all these people directly, Li Yu's heart is also somewhat intolerable. Longfei is also slightly frowning. Looked at Xiaoye, what do you think? Longfei asked. After all, now Xiaoyu is still the guardian of the Chinese nation, and Longfei also wants Xiaoyu to be embarrassed. Longfei brother, you look at it. If they smash you, then asterisk it. I keep them, I just want you to shoot yourself. Xiao Yue said well. As if, everything is centered on Longfei. Longfei's heart was moving, and some were moved. That Longfei just wanted to speak, but the words have not yet been said. The crowd below directly blasted the pot. Women, we are still a saint, we are now colluding with evil spirits. Yes, hey. Really think that you are a saint, can you do whatever you want? Here is China, we are the people of China, why do you convict us? If you dare to shoot us, the law will not let you go. A voice cursed and passed into the dragon's ear. Suddenly, the expression on Longfei's face was condensed, caught death. With a heavy bang, Longfei's eyes smothered. Originally, seeing the expression of Xiao Yue, Longfei did not want to care about these people. Can help. Do not live because of your work. Brush. When Longfei's eyes moved, the person who had previously opened was directly taken into the void by Longfei. I don't need to convict you. But insulting my woman is sin. Chapter 4677. Chapter 4677 Huagua, the capital. Let's go, Jiu Yue. Is this really when I can override me? Yang Shoshi's body breathed and burned in anger. Yang Shou, the virgin is too much. I even shot us directly. In her eyes, is there still a Chinese country in the end? Is there any principle? Li said with anger, and there were grievances in his eyes. Suddenly, puff. Li spouted out of a blood. You are hurt. Yang Shoshi's eyes are condensed. Li Ji is guilty of sin. Li is heartbroken and wants to persuade the saint to turn back. Just wondering, it will anger the saint. Li Yu said, 3 points true, 7 points off. As for the rest of the people, they are naturally unaware. However, Zhong Rongzuan could not stand it, and immediately screamed, Li, you are an old man. Do you still know that you are angry with the Virgin? You go with a sinful affair. Who do you think you are? The saint did not kill you, it was already Ron. Zhong Rongzi roared. For Li, reversing black and white, my heart is extremely unscrupulous. But never thought, his voice just fell. A few people behind Li, he immediately retorted, Zhong Wei-si, you have passed. I am waiting for the order of the first. Or do you think that the saint is already above the head of the yang? Immediately, some people scolded. A cold face stared at Zhong Rongzi. Even Yang Shoshi, at this time the eyes are fixed on the body of Zhong Yu. Inexplicable, Zhong Yu and Bing are so screaming that there is a feeling of death. At this time, Yang Shoshi suddenly laughed. Zhong Yubing, Ding Mingren, Zhao Jiadi, very good. The three of you are really loyal. In this case, I will give you the opportunity to make you loyal to the sun and the moon. Yang Shoshi said, after finishing, his eyes were condensed. Brush. A murderous moment came. Hey! Zhong Rongzuan and the three suddenly stepped back a few steps. Even the blue stone of the main hall was cracked. Do not! Zhong Rongzi shouted. But immediately, the front is black. A great pressure directly swept the heart. Hey! 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 3 explosions, directly blasting above the main hall. The figure of Zhong Rong and Sin also disappeared completely. It was directly under the pressure of Yang Shoshi. Suddenly, above the main hall, it is extremely calm. For a long time, Li Yu directly stumbled. Congratulations to the successful completion of the Yang show. Congratulations, several people behind them followed suit. Yang Shoshi nodded with great satisfaction. You are good, as long as you follow me, I will not treat you badly. Conversely, Zhong Rong Sin 3 is your end. A dog that is not obedient, simply kills, so as not to be an eye-opener. Yang Shoshi said faintly. Kill chickens and monkeys. Li Yu and others are ashamed. Through my life, within 3 days, let the best of Xian men come to see. Otherwise, the consequences are at your own risk. Yang Shoshi said that hegemony is incomparable. At this time, Longfei 3. Boss, Kunlun is ahead. There is no special place in Kunlun, and there is no fairy door. Li Yu pointed to the contiguous Xianshan in front and said. Longfei chuckled. This level exists. Not everything, but he doesn't know it. Then, Longfei blinked and looked at Kunlun in front of him. System girl, the place we are looking for, should be after this Kunlun. It's just that this seal is a bit strange, how can I open this barrier? Longfei contacted the system in his heart. Master, this is not a seal. It is someone who uses the supreme law, and a sword breaks the 2 worlds. And this Kunlun is the 2 sides of the world. The system sister said. How do I get into it? Longfei asked. This is what Longfei is most concerned about. Can't get in. Master, I just pushed it again. Between the 2 forces, it is not yet time to unravel. The system sister said. When the dragon flies, he blinks instantly. Can't get in? System sister, don't make trouble. If I can't get in, how can I do my task? Thinking of the consequences of the failure of the mission, Longfei was confused. Master, people have not said that they can't get in. Now the speed of change in the world is accelerating. It will take a few days, and now the power of the seal of the world will come out. The seal will also loosen when it is time. As long as the owner finds the social artifacts of this world, he can break the seal and enter it. The system sister said. Social artifact. A dragon flies. In my mind, the instinctive thought of the personal emperors of ancient earth legends. Yes, master, as long as you find the artifacts, the world will be born again. The system sister said. Longfei was silent. Although, he did not know what the social artifacts of the system sister said. But Longfei believes that the system girl will never be unreasonable. As soon as I read this, Longfei asked, Xiao Yue, have you guarded China for so long, knowing where the artifacts are? Xiao Yue looked up. Longfei brother, do you want a social artifact? Xiao Yue asked, a little doubt on his face. But it is full of expectations. It seems that as long as the dragon flies a little, she can't wait to get it. Seeing Xiao Yue's expression, Longfei's heart was happy. Ha ha ha, actually there is, Xiao Yue, you are simply my lucky star. Longfei laughed. But Longfei's brother, now the social artifact is controlled by Yang Shoshi, and I feel that he has completely controlled the power of the social artifact. Otherwise, I will never be so blatantly looking for trouble. Xiao Yue said. Yang Shoshi, the Lord of China? Longfei asked with doubts. Yes, he was also interested in the people before. But since he made a breakthrough, he has become acquainted with the law of air transport, and he has made rapid progress. Not only that, but with the power of this gas, I was recognized by the social artifacts. Since then, his ambition has grown. Xiao Yue said faintly. Suddenly, my face changed. The whole person has also stopped on the ground. On the face, there is endless blame and remorse. Even the double fists are tight. What happened? Longfei asked. How can this sudden change make up the feeling of Longfei? Longfei brother, my people were killed. It's all my fault. If it weren't for me, they wouldn't be hurt. Xiao Yue looked down and was full of regrets. Then, Xiao Yue will train Li by a few people, but in the end only Zhongrong and Xin 3 still stand on her position. Longfei's eyes were also cold. With a bit of fun. It seems that I am really unwilling to be lonely. In this case, I will accompany him to play. The idea of hitting my woman, I still don't know how to provoke life and death. I have to look at it. What is he cuddling? Longfei said indifferently. Of course, there is still a sentence. Longfei hidden in the bottom of my heart did not say. That is, burst him. Exploding social artifacts. Chapter 4678. Chapter 4678. In a blink of an eye, it is 3 days. The 3 dragons directly settled on the Kunlun. What surprised Longfei was that Xiao Yue once again brought him a surprise. Make things out of thin air. A castle in the air, under the hands of Xiao Yue, succeeded for a while. Longfei brother, can we do nothing? Xiao Yue asked. I often sigh. Apparently, the death of Zhong Rongbing's 3 people made her heart blame. No, we will wait for them to come to the door. Longfei said. If it is put in the usual, just because of the social artifact, Longfei will not wait a minute more. Go straight up. It is dry. But now, Longfei is willing to wait. Because now, from the mouth of Xiao Yue, Longfei has already learned. Although Yang Shoshi now controls the recognition of social artifacts. Yes, not complete. That is to say, the power of the current social artifacts is not enough to open this Kunlun world. However, this power can only be controlled by Yang Shoshi. Despite the helplessness, Longfei can only continue to wait. Moreover, Longfei believes that with Yang Shoshi's current ambitions, he must be more eager to get this power than himself. Then, I can't wait to declare sovereignty to myself. In the name of killing evil spirits, come to triumph. Therefore, Longfei is not in a hurry. At this time, Li Yu's figure suddenly appeared, and he was in a hurry. Boss, chaos. It's really messy. 3 days, Xianmen was born. Li Yu looked excited. 3 days are like a world apart. Not only in China, but in all parts of the world, those forces hidden in the legend have all been born. All over the world, they are all in a mess, and the tide is raging. However, Li Yu knows that all of this, Longfei is indifferent. Longfei cares only Yang Shoshi. What about Yang Shoshi? 3 days, I should have been unable to wait. Longfei smiled lightly. From the mouth of Xiao Yue. Longfei has already guessed the name of Yang Shoshi. You can't talk about it, but the ambitious family is more than enough. In particular, it can be seen from the fact that the other party has simply killed the 3 people. The ambition is great, but the city is very shallow. Therefore, Longfei has already decided that the other party will definitely not ask for it. Boss, you said it is good. Actually, as early as 3 days ago, Yang Shoshi made a high-profile appearance. Let all the birth of Xian men, all go to sea. Dragon Tiger Gate, 7-star swords, Northeast Shaman, all went. Li Yu said. The total amount of sum, the corner of the eye quietly looked at Longfei, want to see the reaction of Longfei. After all, this has basically exhausted all the forces of the Chinese nation. More importantly, these forces are most likely to be directed at them. Can fly, not shocked. The eyelids didn't even sink. Is there only 3? There should be several forces in my perception. Longfei asked with a smile. Hey, the boss is the boss, not leaving home, knowing 1,000 miles. There are also a group of witches who have also been born, but they are not caught in Yang Shoshi and can't close their doors directly. There was also the disappearance of the Lulan civilization, which also rejected the order of Yang Shoshi. On the day of birth, it provoked the desert storm and disappeared into the world. But the most interesting thing is Tsihong Jianzhai. Li Yu said, the more excited the more. It seems that these ancient legends have reappeared in the world, and his heart is also inexplicably excited. Great world. When the world comes, it is naturally accompanied by a big chance. The opportunity of his Li Yu is to recognize a boss. Ci Hang Jianzhai? A dragon flies. It seems to overlap with the memory. Is there a teacher? Longfei asked. But did not notice that Xiao Yue beside him. His eyes suddenly jumped out of a panic. As if I was afraid that Longfei was taken away. Boss, think more. What you said was created in a classic book hundreds of years ago, I know. How could it be related to ancient fairy gates? Li Yu said. But I don't know, this sentence is to make Longfei suddenly startled. Hundreds of years. Longfei was surprised. Longfei clearly remembers that when the dream came back to the earth and rescued Xiaoye, there was not much change on the earth. How has it been so short? It has been hundreds of years. Yeah, boss, what you said is really something hundreds of years ago. Li Yu said. Instead, I looked at Longfei with a look of arrogance. What I don't know is how big the impact of this sentence is to Longfei. Ha ha ha, I was still worried that I would have delayed the ancient world because of the things on the earth. It seems unnecessary now. Time flow rate. Ha ha ha, the time flow of the earth and the ancient world is not in line at all. In this way, even if I stayed on the earth for a few years, there will be no big trouble in the ancient world. Longfei's heart is ecstatic. But did not say it. After all, the current Li Yu is not as strong as it is. But Li Yu, looking at the long smiling dragon fly on his face, was secretly pondering. He immediately said, but it really has a woman who was born 3 days ago, but did not accept the invitation of Yang Shoshi, but a people go deep into the mountains and go to the demon. Li Yu continued. Longfei nodded. With the previous thoughts, it doesn't matter what women are not women. What about China? Is Yang Shoshi ready to take the shot? Longfei asked. I don't know this yet, but today, the 3 fairy gates that should be recruited have already left, and the direction is ours. Li Yu said. The expression is a little excited. Longfei brother, I have solved them. Xiao Yue listened, and his body breathed. He took the initiative to ask. It seems as if I don't want to be disturbed by the silence of the present. But one was pulled by Longfei. No, they are coming, even if they come. Some of the clowns are just jumping. It doesn't matter. When they are enough, it is the death of Yang Shoshi. Longfei said in an understatement, and the light in his throat flashed. Then, Longfei's eyes turned. I give you the strength, and your current body can't bear it. Just good, I killed an ancient beast, his blood and strength, just for your use. When you close, these people will be handed over to you. Longfei said. Regardless of the reaction of the fish, the force of the blood and the sputum will be directly poured into the body of the fish. The next moment, Li Yu double bloody. The whole person has become very popular, and the body wants to explode in general, constantly expanding. At this time, Fang Tian passed on the power and began to start. Direct confrontation with the power of. And Li Yu, under this dual power, directly fainted. Longfei waved with his hand, and a layer of forbidden formation was formed in an instant, holding the body of the fish in it. And Longfei is slowly getting up. Go, there are guests, let's be the master, you have to say hello. Longfei said, a sneer in the corner of his mouth. Chapter 4679. Chapter 4679. Under the Kunlun, a woman stood with a sword. White is like a heaven. It's just that her face is covered with a veil, only a silhouette can be seen, and the real look can't be seen. Not bad. This person is the handed-down disciple of Tsihong Jianzhai. A sword destroys the mountains, and thousands of creatures are slaughtered between the day. It should be the soul of my sword, and it will be a good thing. The woman's voice was indifferent, and she looked above the void and killed her. At this time, Xiaoyu is preparing to step out of Longshan, and feel the killing in front of him. It seems that someone can't help it. Longfei's eyes burst into disdain. This kind of killing is a drizzle for him. For him, let alone the impact, there is no reaction at all. Longfei brother, this person should be a person in Xianmen. Xiaoye said, the tenderness in the eyes disappeared. Replace it. It's a killing. I am going to kill her. Xiao Yue spoke. It is completely different from the previous bird. Just like an ankle guard. Anyone who dares to kill Longfei is his enemy. Don't worry, the monkey is not enough, and she is not the best chicken. Longfei said. But I feel a bit ambiguous about my own words. Kill chickens and monkeys. This is the idea of Longfei. Since Yang Shoshi was able to smash the three people of Zhongrong and Si, to stimulate Xiao Yue and declare his authority. That dragonfly, naturally will not be soft-hearted. The best way is to do the first day, I will do 15. But obviously, this person is not qualified enough. Or, it is not enough for Yang Shoshi to feel that what is horror. At this time, the figure under the Kunlun has been unwilling to be lonely, come forward and rise in depth. Brush. The long sword twirled, and the sword was shining. Xiao Yue couldn't help but want to shoot. No, this strength still can't hurt me. Longfei stopped. Then, Longfei did not evade, he stood on the ground and waited for a sword from the woman below. You kill countless people, destroy the inheritance of the fairy door, and should be the shackles. Today, I am the sword of the mercy, and you will pass your life. At this time, under the Kunlun, the woman sipped. And the sword in his hand, at this time, finally issued an infinite sword. The sword is rushing. It was Longfei, and there was a surprise in the scorpion. This sword, he is unheard of. Sword, the emperor of the soldiers. What you want is a kind of killing heart, I am invincible. At this moment, the sword of the woman in front of me is different from all the swords before. Among the swords, there is no sword, and there is no such thing as piercing the sky. There is no such thing as a sword in hand, a trick of ghosts and gods. The whole set of swords are full of ethereal and spiritual. As if the trajectory of the sword is volleying. This kind of sword is full of a kind of Buddha. Gradually, Jian Kai Jin Lian really formed a Buddha above the void. Heroes, die. The woman is drinking. In an instant, Jianlian blossomed and the Buddha took out. Hey! One contains the meaning of endless sadness, sweeping over. The thought turned around, and people actually gave birth to redemption. Between the hustle and bustle, among the dragon's pupils, it seems to be drawn by this force. The scene of the killing of the scene flashed through the dragonfly's pupil. Indirectly, in the heart of Longfei, a self-doubt was born. As if everything has been done, there is a world of heaven. There is a Dharma. Everything is sin. Cool. Helium is crowded. This Buddha's sword lotus is like a mirror. The killings in the heart of Longfei are outlined. Good rich suffocation, and sure enough, you are a demon. White woman, a light cold. The heart is also inexplicably excited. If you let the master know, I have married a great demon between heaven and earth. I am a good man, and I will be able to name the world in one fell swoop. White women thought of it. Then, it is more force. Brush it. The long sword is in its hands, and it emits endless light. Among the emptiness, the sword lotus blossoms and the condensed Buddha shadows are more and more solemn. Buddha town magic, kill, the woman shouted. Boom. The Buddha shadow is fretting, and with both hands, the wind and the endless swords are whistling. Boom. Also at this time, the real murder came. The smoldering atmosphere of the heavens and the earth is pervasive, and even the ancient mountains of Kunlun Mountain, which stood for thousands of years in China, seem to be unable to withstand the ravages of such killing. Rumble. The trees are withered and the souls are hidden. Rumble. The boulder is shaking and breaking the mountain. Around the dragon, there was a dignity in the eyes of Xiao Yue. In particular, I feel the change of the atmosphere of Longfei, and I feel that things have changed. Dragon brother, what's wrong with you? Xiao Yue panicked. She is convinced of the strength of Longfei. The changes that can be made at the moment are beyond her expectations. For Longfei, at this time, although the uncontrollable eruption of hernia, her heart also produced self-doubt. But only for a moment, the idea disappeared. Buddha! Longfei's heart was dull. A thick disdain and killings are born in the bottom of my heart. I sighed unfairly, and when I was suffering from me, there was no Buddha to spend me. When I am tempted to save the world, there is no Buddha to help me. When I stepped on Foshan and killed the demon with the body of the Buddha bowed. Now, come and redeem me. Do you match? Longfei smiled coldly and looked at the emptiness of the Buddha shadow, which was faintly said. The next moment, the incredible scene happened. I saw that the sound of Longfei fell. The vain Buddha shadow is gradually illusory. Endless swordsmanship disappeared. It seems to be self-defeating. The Buddha did not dare to sin in front of Longfei. No, it's impossible. How can Buddha return? How can Folian break up? Below, the white woman looks incredible. I can't believe this scene I saw. All along, Cihong Jianzhai, adhering to the Buddha's heart like a sword, demon slayer. It is our duty to eliminate the human world. But now, even the Buddha has retired, what are their insistence? For a time, the white woman's heart retorted and the faith collapsed. And Longfei, at this moment, is also a slight move. Between the backhands, a punch banged out. Boom. Under the punch, the heavens and the earth will be clear and clear. Buddha shadow completely collapsed. The Buddha is completely annihilated. Puff. The woman in white spits out a blood and falls directly. And Longfei is step by step. At this time, the white woman's veil went away, revealing the true colors. Longfei slammed and his footsteps jerked. Inexplicably, the heartbeat has accelerated a few points. I have to admit that the woman in front of me is very beautiful. A kind of fairy scent that does not eat human fireworks, blowing in the face. This kind of beauty is different from Xiao Yue. Xiao Yue's temperament is more inclined to tenderness like water. The woman in front of her eyes is Xueshan Balian. However, this is not the point. The point is that this face, Longfei, is very familiar. I am Cao, how are you? Chapter 4680. Chapter 4680. A woman in white is also looking at Longfei. An inexplicable sense of familiarity, lingering on my mind. But more is wrong, as if I don't know Longfei at all. Longfei smiled and screamed, How long does it take to see the ancestors? Longfei said. And when this statement comes out, the white woman's eyes are suddenly brilliant. Big bad guy, it's you. The white woman is overjoyed and the whole person is very excited. Even the next moment, jumped directly and slammed into the arms of Longfei. The look of a woman in the face of a slap in the face, slammed the dragonfly. Why are you coming to us now? Do you know that we have had a hard time in recent years? It's all you. If it weren't you, how could we fall to the present day? The white woman burst into tears. Xiao Yu's eyes on the side are extremely tangled. Watching others spoil in the dragon's arms. Coldly, don't go too far. Longfei's face was a slap in the face, and he looked at Xiaoya and smiled. Then he lifted the woman in front of him. Wait, I don't seem to be how you are. It seems like I am a negative heart. Longfei said helplessly. Hey, big bad guys, when you first ridiculed me, how can you see you not tired? How? Now that you have found a new love, don't you love it? The woman said, looking sad. Longfei looked black. When the year-long Fei wanted to explain, but when he spoke, he was interrupted by the woman in front of him. I don't listen. When you said that I was your woman, it was also cheaper for me, and it was my ancestors. Now you don't want to accept it, it's impossible, the woman said. A face of arrogance. As if to eat a dragon-fly. And Longfei, in addition to a smile, there is no other way. Xiao Yue is not willing to show weakness at this time. Come forward. Who are you? Why do you say that it is a woman from Longfei's brother? Dragon's brother doesn't admit it. You still have your face on your face, and you don't want to order billion. People, you have a lot of pressure. Xiao Yue said coldly, and she didn't stay for a little. Typical jealous. And the woman in white in front of me, a slight glimpse, immediately smashed the past. Hey, now you think you are a saint. If it weren't for you, Longfei is now a worldly enemy. You are a broomstick star, it's all you, and the dragon that flies is in the right and wrong. Now the whole country is plotting against Longfei. Speaking, do you have it yourself? The woman responded. You, Xiao Yu is mad. The eyes are full of anger. But at this time, Longfei figure flashed and flashed directly between the two. Enough. Longfei frowned. I feel helpless in my heart. Here, after all, it is not an ancient world. But hesitating again and again, there is still no opening. How? Overturned in the gutter? The white woman said with a smile. Let her, some things, after all, she wants her own understanding. Longfei said helplessly. Immediately, the words turn. It is you, Xian Yu, how did you come to the earth? Longfei asked. In order to seek the law of returning to the earth, Longfei has a lot of intentions. However, it was not until the condensed avenues of the ancient world that they were rewarded by the mission and returned to the earth. Therefore, Longfei never thought about it. There will be people from the ancient world who appear here. Yes, this person is the ancient world, the small world that entered from the Temple of Eternal Life, the mysterious jade encountered. I don't know, I was thrown into the world by the old road. It was okay when I came here. My cultivation is here. No one can threaten me at all. But then, the world is abrupt, the aura is recovering, more and more mysterious existences are born. Not only that, but my strength is also limited by this heaven and earth rules. Xian Yu said. Longfei listened carefully and did not interrupt. And then more than 200 years ago, the head of the Chinese contemporary accidentally triggered the artifact of the Chinese community. Activate a country's air transport. The kind of breath almost annihilated me. If it was not a critical moment, my aunt tears the void, I am afraid that I am already dead. Xian Yu said, his face was scared. And Longfei, but the eyes are bright. Your aunt is also? Longfei's eyes were pleasantly surprised. A beautiful aunt. I was committed to being my own woman. Only later was the wrong time, and was thrown into the small world by the last master of the Yongsheng Hall. Thinking about the spark that will rub if you meet. Longfei, laughing without a fuss. Moreover, the exception is too. Bastard, is this princess so glamorous? As soon as I said my aunt, your eyes are straight. Xian Yu said with no anger. A dragon flew, and immediately chuckled. Go on, then how did you become the person of Cihong Jianzhai? Longfei asked. At this moment, it's no longer what the teacher is not swearing. Do not say Xian Yu. Just a beautiful aunt can replace all the fantasy of Longfei. This is a long story. Anyway, you only need to know that my aunt got a sword in the original world. The original master of the sword has fallen, and my aunt must be guaranteed to keep their inheritance. Then we became Cihong Jianzhai. But it is strange to say that our own power is limited, but there is no sense of violation in the practice of this Cihong Jianlian, and the rules of heaven and earth will not be controlled. Xian Yu said. Longfei nodded. Regardless of the process. Since the beginning and the end, Longfei will not care more. Even now, the thoughts of the beautiful and beautiful aunts in my mind have already overwhelmed everything. As soon as I read this, I quickly asked, what about your aunt? Xian Yu a glimpse, a pair of eyes, a look of intriguing look at Longfei. Longfei's old face was red, and he quickly said, don't think too much, because the world your aunt had been waiting for, it is very likely that it is my goal. Longfei said. True and false. On the one hand, Longfei is indeed a suspicion. Xian Yu's aunt, tearing the void, is the world after Kunlun. On the other hand, thinking of such a beautiful Taoist wife, Longfei's heart is naturally heart-wrenching. Hey, I just believed you. Xian Yu snorted. However, you should not be too anxious to listen. Because my aunt has no choice, now it should be embarrassed by the birth of the Chinese nation. Xian Yu said, looking at Longfei with a smile. It seems as if I want to see what Longfei is doing. A dragon flies. I thought that Yang Shoshi would send someone to target himself. Unexpectedly, I first pointed the spear to Cihong Zhenjai. As soon as I read this, Longfei's eyes turned and looked at Xiao Yu's direction, and his heart sighed with helplessness. Turned to say, in this case, take the initiative. I would like to see if I control the social artifacts, and I can do whatever I want. Longfei looked cold and said coldly. Chapter 4681. Chapter 4681. Above the Kunlun, between the lush green. Xiao Yue looked at the direction in which Longfei left, and the fundus was instantly moist. Longfei brother, am I so unbearable? Still, I am late. Xiao Yue is saddened. She did not know the past of Longfei, nor did she know what kind of world Longfei had experienced. However, the experience in front of her eyes made her heart unhappy. She has her own pride. She can stand the loneliness of hundreds of years and wait for Longfei to return. But I can't face it. Longfei is already surrounded by wives. As Longfei said, this is a not for her. It is only by her own degree. It is also the root cause of the hesitancy before Longfei. It is precisely because of this that Xiao Yue saw Longfei leave, but there was no slight reaction. At this time, Kunlun, who was not shocked, suddenly fell dark. Then, the figure of a dragon flew directly in front of Xiao Yue. Xiao Yue, let me go, let's go to a world without others. The world, only us. We are acquainted with each other and forget the world. Create an eternal kingdom that belongs to us. The oncoming Longfei faintly said. For a moment, Xiao Yue was paralyzed. Happiness comes too suddenly. She suddenly felt that everything was not true. However, suddenly, this thought made Xiao Yue sink in his heart. Both eyes suddenly recovered the Qingming. No, no. Dragon-flying brother will never say such irresponsible words. You, who are you? Xiao Yue looked gloomy. Longfei is the fortress that she insists on. She can't accept anything that humiliates Longfei. Not to mention, some people now pretend to be flying in front of her. This seems to her to be completely awkward to Longfei. And as Xiao Yue's voice fell, the dragon flying in front of him gradually became illusory. The whole sky was also dark and dark. Ha ha ha, it is worthy of being a holy woman of China. The repairs in the late stage of the flight are indeed extraordinary. However, before we passed on the fairy facade of the ages, it was still not enough. The power of the tower, swallow. Under the darkness of the sky, a cold voice came out. Then, the endless darkness came and instantly drowned the entire Kunlun. Xiao Yue was caught off guard and just wanted to shoot, but it was directly swept by the darkness. The next moment, the darkness receded, but there was no Xiao Yue on the entire Kunlun. On the other hand, Longfei, who is on the road to this mysterious jade, has suddenly stopped. Looking back, I looked at Kunlun. What's wrong? Big bad guys, can't you put down your little beauty? Xian Yu said with a smile. In her worldview, how many women Longfei has, she will not feel incredible. As long as you like it, you are willing to accompany Longfei all the way. Therefore, for the existence of Xiao Yue, she does not have much mustard. Otherwise, I will not take Xiao Yue to play the fun dragon. Someone started with Kunlun. It seems that there is a lot of disenchantment on this planet. Longfei said coldly. Well, impossible, she is also a sacred woman of the United States. It has already reached the limit of this world. How can someone dare to shoot her? Xian Yu said, his face is unbelievable. How long does it take you to come to this world? The mystery of this world is far from what you can understand. However, Xiao Yue should have no danger for the time being. I also hope that they have the courage to bear my anger. Longfei said, his eyes turned and he calmed down. Go, keep on the road. After that, Longfei took the lead and continued on. Xian Yu looked at the dragonfly that calmed down, and the beautiful face flashed a bit of peace of mind. Once the figure moved, I came directly to Longfei. Huagua, the capital. Li Yu, is there any news about Jiu Yue? Yang Shoshi asked, and in the scorpion, it was like iron. Yang Shou, already found out, the descendant of Cihong Genjai has already attacked Kunlun, but I don't know what happened, it seems to have a relationship with that man. The saint is therefore also angry and away. And Cihong Genjai and the demon, but have left, look at the direction, it should be to the South China Sea. Li Yu said. As the control of the Chinese nation, it is naturally simple to understand the whereabouts of a person. However, what they don't know is that if Longfei doesn't want to, the people who rely on them will already be wiped out. All they can know is that Longfei intends to let them know. Yang Shoshi's eyes flashed in the cold, going to the South China Sea? Good. Just go all out. As long as the dogman is destroyed, I don't believe it. Jiu Yue doesn't change his mind. After all, I can give her the respect of her mother. And I am the whole country, the whole world, the strongest man. Yang Shoshi said. But Li Yu, there was a slap in the face. Yang Shou, the demon power is not weak, after all, the Lushan will be destroyed. Wei Li said weakly. The words are not finished. I have not dared to say more. Reassured, under the heavens, it is not the kingdom. I have been recognized by the Chinese national games, and there are more social artifacts. You go first. At that time, I will mobilize the national transport, drive the dragon vein, and bless you. Kill him, like a dog. Yang Shoshi said, confident. Li is also a big joy in his eyes. Ha ha ha, Yang Shou Yingming. This battle will surely make my country famous in the world. At that time, the name of Yang Shou will naturally become the strongest representative of this world. And, the saint will definitely take the initiative to send a hug. Li Yu said. The expression is extremely charming. Yang Shoshi also laughed at his face, as if everything was under his control. At this time, above the South China Sea, a woman in a robe was looking at the front with a dignified look. In front of him, there are 3 people. Shaman. Longhushan. There are also 7-star swordsmen. Daogu opened one by one. In the eyes, cold and cool. The millennium is not born, I can't think of it. Cihong Genjai is still there, although I don't know that you are the first generation of descendants. But it is your first generation of the Zhai, not in front of me, dare not be arrogant. I can let me wait for the 3 to come at the same time. It is also the way for you to sail. You are smashing your hands, or let me wait for you to give birth and send you to see Yang. Longhushan, the Taoist dressed up as a teacher, said indifferently. Yes, if you bow down to the court, I will wait for you in the future. In this big world, even if the world comes in the future, there is a head, and you can protect you safely. If you resist, that is the enemy, you are not jealous. Oh, such a tasteful Dao Ji Yu, it's a pity to kill. If she resists, I will refine her adult animals and let me play in the future. The other 2 also said at this time. Oh, the fairy door, has it fallen to the extent of being a dog? The road is different, you have to fight. But I want to let me be like you, to be a dog, it is impossible, said Dao Ji Yu, a look of perseverance. At the same time, the Buddha dust in the hands. Buddha lotus condenses and waits for flowers to bloom. Chapter 4682. Chapter 4682. On the South China Sea, the waves are raging and the clouds are haunting. Like a fairyland on earth. But at this time, the thunder wave exploded and the killing was volley. So, are you ready to resist? Oh, it seems that today is the time for me to be famous. 2, and slow hands, see me destroy him. Longhushan Taoist voice sinks, hands pinch. The fructification of the Tian men, are positive and awkward. The law of the right one, give me the town. The Taoist is cold drinking. Immediately, the entire South China Sea is in a very silent state. Just like the gods' patrol, let this sky in the South China Sea, but also low eyebrows. Daogu frowned, and the thick pressure came to the bottom of my heart. This ha ha ha, I feel it. Do you think that your midterm training is very powerful? It's a long way off. I am going out with a law, it is for the heavens. How do you fight with me? The dragon and tiger mountain voices are arrogant. Absolute repair is an advantage, so that he has absolute confidence. There was a touch of helplessness on Dao's face. The whole body of Folian also began to die. Never bloomed, has withered. That is to say, after the dragon tiger mountain Taoist shot, she has not even had a chance to even shoot. How could this be? Even if it is a gap, it is absolutely impossible to even have a chance to shoot. Daogu's face is constantly changing. This change is beyond her expectations. Originally, even if it is not, there will never be such a big gap. This change has caused her heart to suffer. It is a foregone conclusion. The middle-aged man in a 7-star robes said, "Dragon and tiger brothers, don't stop picking up. The Dao Ji Yu, who still has such a charm, has not tasted what it is. Shaman is a vain, a face full of gullies, the incomparably old man, a look of sinister evil. Ha ha, for thousands of years, the old shaman is really stinking." Long Hudao people laughed. Immediately turn around, don't be fearless, I am in front of a law, you will lose. The dragon and the tiger are crazy and confident. At this time, above the void. The Taoist method is a natural way to sway the world. Boom. Thunder weaving the net, Tianyun ended. One after another, the power of horrific repression was suppressed against Daogu. Puff. Hey. Outside the body of Dao Ji Yu, all the Buddha's swords and lotuses collapsed. And Dao Ji Yu, also at this moment, spurted a blood arrow. Complete suppression. Nothing to fight. How? Cool. Don't worry, it's still cool. You are still ancient. Now, although the world is recovering, the robbery of the last law has not disappeared. Everything that is contrary to the Tao is illusory. If you put it thousands of years ago, you may still have this opportunity to fight with me. But now, there is no such possibility. Dragon and tiger people arrogantly said. And Dao Ji Yu, here is a slight shock. It turns out that. Daogu said slightly. Raised his face. No wonder, Zhenlian is not open, it has collapsed. Dao's face calmed down. The color of shock disappeared. Immediately, she looked at the dragon and tiger. The end of the robbery is still there, but do you think you are really invincible? There is no double sword lotus, give it to me. The ant and the scorpion must be sure to emerge from the bottom of the eye. The next moment, Dao Ji Yu spread his hands. The whole person is condensed. The whole person is like a long sword. Hey! The disappearing sword lotus reunited. The dragon and the tiger's face are the same, and there is a touch of disdain in the eyes. I don't want to fight, do you want to resist? One day, thunder, drop. The dragon and tiger people screamed. Immediately, the thunderstorm riots. The power of the thunder of the road roared down. In an instant, drowned the figure of Dao Ji Yu. The dragon and tiger people looked scornful, as if everything had ended, and walked to the other two. The dragon and tiger brothers are not bad at all. Under the rules of today, there is such a strong Dao. It is not a problem to follow the Yensho and enter the fairy world, said the shaman. Ha ha ha, old shaman, you are not the same. We have been immersed for thousands of years, isn't that the day, said the 7-star sword master. Immediately, the three laughed and were very proud. As if between heaven and earth, they are already the highest group of people in the pyramid. But at this time, a popping sound appeared. Boom. The endless thunder is smashed, and a figure reappears between heaven and earth. I saw countless swords and lotuses screaming light, a statue of Buddha, standing on the sword lotus. Even more terrifying is that these Buddha shadows are in the hands of the sword. If Longfei is here, I am afraid that it will be a big surprise. Buddha, in his mind, has always been synonymous with solemnity. Even once in the small world, I have seen the Buddha demons. Longfei has never seen a Buddha who has a long sword. If you say that King Kong is glaring, the Buddha is in the palm of his hand, and Longfei believes. It can be said that the Buddha's sword, and is somewhat guilty. Of course, the most shocking thing at this time is the three people of the dragon and tiger. Impossible, this law already has the power of immortals. Even if it is a real fairy, it does not dare to resist. How can you reverse the rules of the law? It is impossible. The dragon and the tiger are roaring, and the seal in the hand is constantly being squeezed. I am a day, boom. Printed in shock. A giant palm fell from the void. Directly bombarded the body of the Buddha holding the sword. But at this moment, a more strange scene happened. Above the swords of the sky, the Buddha's sword in his hand rang. A wave of sky. Rumble. The giant palm directly dissipated. But this is not the end. Immediately afterwards, the Buddha's sword was turned and directly stabbed to the dragon and tiger. Not good. Long Hudao people shouted. The gods fit, boom. Hey! Countless swords are directly on the dragon and tiger. So that the dragon and tiger people directly rubbed the endless fire. Just like the real sword is falling on the body. Very terrible. In particular, the dragon and tiger people are more rebellious, and the whole person has been riddled with holes. A blood hole, like a sieve in the body, a blood arrow, spewing out. On the side, the shaman lord and the seven-star sword master and two faces also gave birth to a terrible look. How can this be? How could this be? So what happened? The two looked awkward. Look at the dragon and tiger people who are wearing wn. It is like dreaming. The moment before, they were still arrogant and winning. However, in a blink of an eye, death and death. Inadvertently, the sword shadow dissipated. Above the void, the figure of the Dao Ji Yu is even more crisp. Holding a sword in one hand, carrying the blue sky. Simple sword of mercy, you can't beat you. Then I used my sword and used the Buddha under my sword to marry you. Daogu said. At the same time, the body's breath suddenly changed, and the cultivation was sharply increased. Chapter 4683. Chapter 4683 Super League. Suspended in the palace. It is Huagua. Is this China wanting to go against the sky? There have been people who have been born before, and there is a mysterious force that has passed through thunderstorms. Now, someone has touched the rule power of the world. Don't anyone in China have touched the fairy in their mouth? In the War League, the leader of the War Alliance, Cruz, said in a gloomy manner. Immediately, there was a super warrior who came forward. Yeah, the leader, can't wait any longer. It is time for us to start the resurrection of the gods. Otherwise, the Chinese side will become a bad tiger sooner or later, and swallow us. Yes, it is already imminent. I have already felt that Satan in **** is already recovering, and the shackles from **** have already spread the earth. As long as we gently fiddle and open the last layer, the era that belongs to our Super War Alliance, it will come completely. Someone said. In the words, I look forward to it. The eye of desire has already burst into endless heat. As if, I can't wait. Cruz looked at his eyes and snorted. Okay, but to start the recovery of the gods, we must be prepared for both things. We must be fidelity. This kind of power is in our hands. I don't want to, the gods are born, we all become slaves. Cruz said. This sentence won the approval of everyone. After all, they are the lucky ones of this era, awakening superpower. Therefore, nature is not willing to be a slave to the gods. What they think is just to make the gods their power and use them for them. However, what they don't know is that when they really open the door to hell, everything they do is a fantasy. Of course, this is something. And in the Western alliance of super gods. At this time, it is also a shock. It is also China. Is this China forcing us to revitalize the culture of the gods? A super **** player said. If Longfei is here, I will feel it and it will be shocking. This one, he is too familiar. There used to be a presence he had summoned in the ancient world. This super **** alliance is simply a **** representation of the League of Legends. No, this is terrible. What is Huagua? It is a matter for China. As long as China does not affect us, it will not confuse the peace of the whole world. We should not call the ***** God. After all, our aim is to guard, not to invade. Immediately, another supergod team member said. Besides, don't you think that reviving the gods is itself a way of digging a grave? The team member continued to speak. In the eyes, full of panic. It seems to be a very terrible thing. Brush. In an instant, everyone was silent. It seems that it is time for people to get in touch with the Chinese side. The captain of the league said openly. The face is very calm, with a touch of awe. Of course, even the Super League and the Super League are so strong. Some other systems of recovery in the world have reacted more strongly. In their view, China has become a decisive factor influencing their ability to settle down. Then, under the world, for a while, the dark tide was surging. The line of sight turns again, and the dragonfly flies. Longfei is not aware of the changes in the world now. Of course, just know, and don't care. After all, this is not the same. In the face of absolute power, all the trails are chickens and dogs, and they are vulnerable. At this time, Longfei and Xuanyu are already close to the South China Sea. Suddenly, Xuanyu stepped into a footstep. Not good, it is the breath of my aunt. Xuanyu's face became pale in an instant. Longfei is a glimpse. What happened? Now that I have arrived in the South China Sea, is there a breath of your aunt, isn't it normal? And, your aunt's current momentum is amazing, it is already fighting, and there is an absolute advantage. Longfei said. Although there is no esoteric power to perceive. But for the breath of Xuanyu's aunt, Longfei can still understand. After all, nowadays, the atmosphere of the Buddha's sword lotus is overwhelming, and there is no way for Longfei to feel it. Xuanyu, but it is crazy to shake his head. No, I am talking about my aunt's own strength. That is to say, my aunt has touched the rules of this era of law. Even if the world is recovering now, the rules of the end of the law are about to dissipate, but that is enough to make the aunt deadly. Xuanyu said quickly, very nervous. The expression of Longfei is also a moment of condensation. Xuanyu said before that they are unable to use their own power on the earth, and can only use the earth's practice. Otherwise, it will be targeted by the power of the last law. That is to say, now that someone has shot and forced your aunt to use his own power, has it attracted the attention of the end of the law? Longfei asked, and his eyes were full of dignity. Yes, big bad guys, fast, you must save your aunt. This law power is too horrible. Must save my aunt. Xuanyu was nervous to pull the arm of Longfei, full of pleading. Reassured, Xuanzang is my woman. My woman, let alone the power of the last law, even if it is a recovery, no one can move. You are waiting for me here. Longfei put away the contempt, and at the same time inspired the inner sorrow. Between the steps, go across the void. At this time, Dao Jiyu is also Xuanzang. There have also been amazing changes in the body. The breath of compassion disappeared, and the face was constantly changing. The traces of the years quietly receded. If she said that she was a middle-aged woman who still has a charm. So now, it's just a young woman I see. Between the gestures, they are full of charm. Beautiful face, cold atmosphere, alone in the world, carrying the loneliness of the sky, making it like a blooming between the heavens and the earth, a unique ice flower. Let people shudder. This is not the power of the earth. You are looking for death. Although the rules of the end of the law have dissipated, the foundation is still there. Anyone who dares to touch will lead to a fight against death. You are dead. The shaman and the seven-star leader finally realized what it was. In the midst of horror, I am constantly regressing. But on the face, there is a hint of excitement. As if, Xianzong at this time, in their view, is to find their own way. As long as she dies, they will be safe. Finally, the dragon and the tiger are dead, and they die. They don't care more about it at all. On the void, Xianzong frowned. Feel the more and more horrible pressure on the top of the head, like the sword hanging in the sky, death is coming. If I have already used it, I won't care. At least, it's easy to annihilate you before this rule comes. Xuanyu said coldly, stepping out one step and sweeping out a sword. Chapter 4684. Chapter 4684. The sea and the sky meet, and the dark clouds are under pressure. Gloomy, murderous, covering the heavens and the earth. As if some kind of existence has already angered the sky to cleanse and clean. Xianzong's heart is clear, the power of the end of the law comes. In a thought, Xianzong's heart appeared a bitter bitterness. If she can, she does not want to use this power. However, her heart is clearer. If you do not use this means, falling into the hands of these people, the result will be even more miserable. She is absolutely not allowed. I have nothing to worry about. Even after death, there is absolutely no one to be embarrassed. Therefore, even if it is the unblocking and repairing, triggering the power of the last law, under this power, the smoke is gone, she does not want to, there is any trace of possibility, falling into the hands of these people. Take a desperate attempt to fight. And no one knows, at this time, Xuanzang's heart, but there is no fear. There is no such thing as unwillingness. In the mind, the only flash, only one figure. A overbearing and rogue figure. Dragonfly, Xian mouth whispered. Immediately, there was a touch of tenderness in the scorpion. As if, has been deeply caught in the cage of memory. But soon, this expression on Xuanzang's face disappeared. Instead, it is a slap in the face. Reassure, even if you haven't become your woman, I will never let others have any chance. Even if it is dead. Even if it is a ghost. I am willing to hold the last thoughts for you. Xianzong is determined in his heart, and once again, he has no expression. Only killing, and sword meaning. The shaman and the seven-star sword master, the two were panicked at this time. This overwhelming pressure has made them full of tremors on the flesh. Powerless support. Instinctively wants to fall to the ground. Especially now, coupled with Xianzong's Buddha sword, it is a deadly threat to them. Hey woman, you want to die, but also pull us to bury. Take the power of the last law, you are looking for a dead end. Go. The two screamed. I didn't dare to stay at all, and I turned and fled. Yes, it is at this moment. Xuanzang moved, the golden lotus of the Buddha opened, and the statue of the Buddha was reappeared. Want to go? Forcing me to unravel my own cultivation and motivate the power of the last law. Do you still want to leave? Let's die together. Xuanzang gave a cold drink. Immediately, a sword fell. Brush the brush. Zhengguang is skyrocketing and falling. Every Buddha's hand controls the long sword, like a warrior, resisting evil in the world. The shaman and the seven-star sword master are very surprised. Panic shot. The law of creation, the sky is empty. 7 stars every day, protect my sword body. The two immediately shot. I don't dare to hide in private. It's the strongest means. Boom. In an instant, a natural barrier appeared, giving the two bodies their support. There is also a starlight that comes down in the daytime, and blessing is above this barrier. The sound of numerous blade collisions appears, booming the world. And the entire barrier, under this power, is also peeled off layer by layer. No, this woman is desperate, Mom, she is crazy. The blood is the guide, everything is used by me, and I am blocked. The shaman leader spurted out the blood of one bite, spelled out the old life, and applied the shaman's method. Brush the brush. In an instant, everything around them, plants and creatures, all turned into the source of life and integrated into this barrier. The seven-star sword master did not dare to idle, and the sword in his hand flashed, attracting the power of 7 stars. 7 stars swing, give me a stop. Brush the brush. The 7-star sword light flashed, turned out, and in the hands of Xuanzang, Buddha Zhenlian, paired together. Booming. Rumble. Rumble. Countless swords are raging in the void, and the whole South China Sea is also boiling. Like a small nuclear explosion, the horror is incomparable. A large expanse of seawater was stirred for 9 days before falling. Fortunately, this change only lasted for a while and disappeared. Without it, but because of the power of the end of the law, coming. The first to bear the brunt is Xianzong. The endless Buddha shadow collapsed at this moment. And Xuanzang, Under the suppression of the power of this horrible law, the body is soft and falls from the void. In the distance, the shaman and the seven-star sword master look at each other. It is the rest of the life. Mom, fortunately, the power of this law is coming in time, or it will be killed by this woman sooner or later. The shaman is roaring and his face is full of hate. It seems that just in the first battle of the debut, I was so embarrassed that I was very upset. The seven-star sword master is also the same, looking at the seven-star sword in the hand, all over the crack, the whole heart is bleeding. Oh, I hope he can survive under the power of the last law. At that time, she must be allowed to survive, and she must not die. The seven-star sword master said coldly. Oh, she can't live. Even if she really survives, I will let her want to die. The shaman leader said, the light of sinfulness in the eyes was released. After all, before, Xuanzang did not unravel and repair, but the charm still exists. Now, return to the true self. More beautiful is not a square. However, what the shaman does not know is that this sentence directly became his last words. At this time, a figure rushed into the boy's eyes, and his eyes fixed on Xuanzang, who fell from the void. This figure is Longfei. The power of the last law? Earthquake anger? Longfei mouth speaks to himself, looking at the pressure above the void, his eyes are condensed. However, there is no urgent need to shoot. Instead, I looked at the shaman and the seven-star sword master. In an instant, the shaman and the seven-star leader have a gaze. Between instinct, the feeling of a dead end in the heart. Kid, who are you? The shamanic lord forcibly suppressed the panic in his heart and said. And Longfei, but silent. Just step by step, until the distance between the two is only 100 meters, Longfei stopped. On your own, dare to marry my woman? What are you counting? Longfei chilled. Your woman? Boy, who are you? The main face of the seven-star sword is also a change, the seven-star sword is shaking. Don't worry, it's just an instant to pack you up. But now, I have to save my woman first. Open your dog's eyes, move my woman, even if it is heaven and earth, Lao Tzu can give him a broken sky. Longfei said faintly, and the figure flashed. Once again, it has appeared in the side of Xuanzang. Unbiased, hold the fallen Xuanzang in your arms. The next moment, Longfei reversed his hand and held Xianzong. How? I haven't fulfilled my promise, I just want to leave it. Longfei smiled and looked at Xuanzang. Xianzong a glimpse, as if a nightmare, full of surprises. However, Longfei ignored it and whispered, if you are grateful, I will say it later. I am taking you, killing the punishment. Give you out. After that, Longfei stepped out and stood upright. Chapter 4685. Chapter 4685. Arrogant. Disdain. Contempt. At this time, it is the best portrayal of Longfei. Understate it. As if to destroy the power of this law, for Longfei, it is a child's play. What is even more unexpected for Longfei is that Xuanzang is a bitter smile at this time. Is this hallucination? Sure enough, people are right. Before you die, you will see your favorite person. However, it is enough. Xuanzang smiled bitterly, and touched the face of Longfei with a look of disappointment. Longfei is also silent for a while. At least, in Longfei's opinion, it's just right. Just open the invincible mode. Let your own woman see their own tyranny. Unexpectedly, Xuanzang actually regarded everything as a dream. Xiaodao Jiyu, what? Now I still want to be stupid? Longfei said with a funny face. Xianzong a glimpse. Both eyes are straight. Unbelievably watching Longfei, Xian grinned with both hands, crying without money. Longfei's heart is soft. Just open to comfort. But before I even had time, I realized that the distant shaman and the 7 stars had wanted to come back. Dragonfly mouth pick 1. Xuanyu, release your breath, directly lead the day to the robbery, I will solve it together. Longfei said casually. At this time, just after the arrival of Xianyu. But immediately saw the direction of the shaman and the 7 stars and people fleeing. It's clear in an instant. The next moment, outside the body of Xian Yu, direct aura surge. Immediately, Yuan Ying, Hua Shen, Fei Sheng, then, directly broke through, and, another realm of legend. As for the extent to which it is, there is no exact definition of Longfei. And Longfei also understands that Xuanzang has unsealed his own cultivation, but at the beginning, he was targeted by the power of the last law. Otherwise, there is a full strength to kill 3 people. Rumble. In an instant, the power of the last law reappears. However, what makes Longfei feel unexpected is that the force of the last law that shrouded the top of Xuanyu's head was severely shrunk. With Xuanzang, it is not at all a level. Moreover, with the force of the end of the top of the Xuanyu head, the power of the last law that shrouded the top of the Xuanzang head, in an instant, also diluted a lot. Okay. Longfei frowned. This change has a terrible guess in his heart. But now, I can't manage that much. At this time, with the reactivation of Xuanyu, the power of the end of the law, the whole boy, was completely shrouded in dark clouds. Extremely strong pressure, falling down the nest, terrible. Longfei no longer hesitates to put Xianzong down. Oh, wait for Laozi to destroy the power of this law, and take you back to the cave. Longfei laughed. And Xuanzang, his face is instantly red. In my mind, I also thought of the picture of Longfei's overbearing kiss, and the moment suddenly stirred up in my heart. Look at Longfei. Already skyrocketing, dry land picking up onions. Between the jumps, stepping on the void directly, standing in the middle of 2 pieces of the final power. Boom. In the end of the law, the thunder bursts. The bang continues. It seems that he is completely angry because of the provocation of Longfei. In the next moment, the 2 final powers come together to create a more terrifying pressure. Overwhelming. The dragon's face is condensed, and the body of the 4th grade is instantly stirred up. Booming. Shuangguang vented. A thunder beam of light descended directly from the sky, and instantly bombarded the body of Longfei. Can Longfei simply do not agree? The whole person faced the thunder and robbed the thunder, and did not evade. Hey, hey, hey. The endless thunder is wrapped in the power of annihilation, and the dragonfly is drowned in an instant. This kind of breath makes the world a place to be. Xianzong and Xian Yu are in a panic. Dragonfly. Bastard. Both of them spoke at the same time and couldn't wait to enter it. But still not moving, the same flash in my mind, the sound of Longfei directly came in. I am fine, don't worry, I am thinking of ways to absorb the power of the end method. Longfei's voice fell on the hearts of both. In an instant, the 2 people made a mistake. It seems as if I heard the Arabian Nights. Refining the end of the power of law. Aren't you kidding? Both are shocked. This kind of fatal force for them is how to get into the dragon's mouth, it becomes a fast food, and it is absorbed by washing hands. Big bad guys, it really is a big metamorphosis. I knew it at the beginning, now I see it, sure enough. The boulder in the heart of Xuanyu put down and said. Xuanzang is silent. From the mouth of Xian Yu, she could not feel the feelings of Xian Yu on Longfei. But she herself can't put up with Longfei. However, what is the aunt? How shame this feeling. However, Xuanzang also knows that this kind of thing is not something that can be considered now. Below, the shaman and the 7-star sword master do not know. Just when Longfei was overwhelmed. In the eyes of both of them, there was a touch of fineness. It's really looking for death, the power of the last law, the road to the heavens and the earth, how stalwart, the power of one person wants to resist hard. Look for a dead end. Yes, he is dead, but now, these 2 women are also threats. With your current means, you are not an opponent. The 2 said relatively. Go. The green hills that are staying are not afraid of burning wood. Yang Shou has already told me that the communicator has indicated that Li has already brought the blessing of the national games. When Li is coming, they will die, said the shaman. This point, the 7-star sword master is extremely recognized. The 2 can take a shot, take advantage of this gap, turn and leave. But the 2 of them have long been locked in Xuanzang. How could it be easy for them to leave? At the moment when the 2 figures were moving, A touch of Zhenlian was born without a chance, directly blocking the two people. Immediately, a Buddha held a sword and stood in front of two people. The two men squinted and blew directly. What they don't know is that at this time in the center of the storm, Long Fei was forced into the body by the power of the last law, but did not stop it. Even in the hands, I also directly took a force and put it in front of my eyes. System sister, this power, really what you said so strange? Long Fei asked. Yes, if it is not the system girl, Long Fei will definitely blow with the power of the last law. Where is the waste of so much time, wasted here? It was because of the prompts of the system sister that Long Fei paused. Master, believe me, this power is unprecedented. I have a feeling that if this power can be used properly, in the future, even if it is the supreme plane, it can become a fundamental foundation for the master's foothold. The system sister said. Long Fei glimpsed, did not think of it, but also have this opportunity. At this point, he just felt that the body was already filled with this power. Everything is full, and all of them are abundant. The acupuncture points and veins are also full. Just as Long Fei thought that at the end of the day, there was a hunger in Dantian. Immediately, a force of swallowing, autonomous operation, directly break through Dantian, sweeping through the void, facing the root of the power of the end of the law, whale swallowing the sea. Chapter 4686. Chapter 4686. This moment is the real breakthrough of Long Fei's cognition. I wipe. The system sister, what is going on? Long Fei exclaimed. The power of Dantian, since the last time, the creation of Tsangxing Avenue, the declassification of the character of the eternal life, Dantian will be silent. In the words of the system sister, it is self-evolving. When the evolution is completed, it will inevitably horrify the world. But now, Dantian took the initiative to swallow the power of this law, and really let Long Fei be shocked. What Long Fei didn't know was that at this time, with the power of the end of the law, he was swallowed up. Between the original world and the earth, it has already been extremely rich in aura, and it has been raised several times in an instant. It is as if the mythological era is coming back. Booming. Not only China, but the whole world. In a number of unknown areas, a loud bang broke out. Immediately, a mysterious and powerful figure reappears. On the Chinese side, the change is the biggest. Countless people broke through at this moment. The rich and the ultimate aura is directly poured into the air. Even people who have no spiritual talents have been baptized at this moment, and their illnesses have been removed. Huagua, the capital. Yang Shoshi is in retreat. Yang Shoshi, who is merging the power of the social artifacts, suddenly opened his eyes. Booming. The land is moving and the national movement is rising. Well, this is the power of the last law, disappeared? Ha ha ha, the ancient times are finally coming. I have a national movement, I am the owner, I have a social artifact. Who else can stop my steps? Ha ha ha, now I am the owner, and after that, I am the lord. Yang Shoshi is extremely proud, crazy laughter. However, he did not know that at this time, the law disappeared, and the heaven and earth returned to the people behind the ancients, that is, he was desperate to kill. At this time, Dantian is no longer swallowed up, just like eating and drinking enough, the door is closed and the silence is once again. But this is not the end. Just when Long Fei thought that everything was over, the change is sudden. The sound of the system reappears. Hey, the system has detected a swallowing scent, please ask the player whether to swallow it. The sudden sound of the system sound makes Long Fei a little bit awkward. System sister, what is going on? Is the system going to be upgraded? Long Fei asked, and asked. Because before, the system prompts, only detects the power that can be swallowed. But it did not say which one is unique. Therefore, Long Fei instinctively believes that this is the power of the system itself. No master, through perception, I have a message to tell you. With my awakening, the whole supreme is inevitable, there will be no more intervention for this system. That is, the system will not be upgraded. The system sister said. Directly put an end to the fantasy of Long Fei. Long Fei slightly whispered, and his heart was a little disappointed. Originally, I was thinking about another killing upgrade system. When I punched one by one, I directly seized the other side. That is really cool. However, the words of the system sister directly cut off his thoughts. So what is going on? The system also needs the power of this law? Long Fei asked. Some can't believe it. In his cognition, the system is omnipotent. The only time, it is only the system restraint by longbation. For active demand, it is unheard of. Master, I just deducted the system. This power is the system needs, but it is prepared for the master. The system sister said. Ready for me? Long Fei looked awkward. The fierceness of Dan Tian just now is that Long Fei himself was shocked. As for the fact that Dan Tian has swallowed up the power of the end of the law, Long Fei himself is not clear. The only thing that can be affirmed is that there is little leftover power on the planet. Today, the system is still preparing for itself. The system is to be a household. Long Fei thought of it. And at this time, the system sister said again, Yes, Master, this is the system for you. Don't you think that the skills you control now are a little less? Invincible punches, 2 kings of the kingdom, and the sword of the devil. Even if you add 2 passive skills to the sword, there are too few means. The system sister said, some helpless. Long Fei's expression was a meal. Indeed. Although his means are strong, he is basically a second enemy. But relatively speaking, this is also based on absolute strength. If it is the same as the drum, the means is a little thin. And the words of the system sister also let Long Fei come to the spirit. You mean, this power is derived from new skills? Long Fei tentatively said. The system girl nodded. Devouring. Turning around, Long Fei responded directly to the system. Since it is a condensing skill, no matter what it is, the opportunity to send it to the door, Long Fei cannot refuse. The next moment, above the entire void, once again swept a swallow. This time, it makes Long Fei feel clearly. The final power of everything is directly swallowed up. Hey, congratulations to the players, condensing new skills, and final sanctions. The last law sanction, according to the player's cultivation, the enemies in the scope are weakened. Cooling time, refresh in the early morning. Description, the power of the last law can suppress the enemy to a layer, and has a 30% chance to explode 3 layers of suppression. If the player activates the end of the flesh, he will suppress the enemy's 5 layers. Shock. Shocked. Shock. At this moment, Long Fei felt that his breathing was getting too fast. I cow. So abnormal. The whole skill, let Long Fei go from top to bottom, I feel 2 words. Metamorphosis. Naked metamorphosis. In the mind, Long Fei directly emerged from the scene. That is in the battle, his own Tangtian breath, the skills out. I was still violently pretending to be in front of myself, and I was instantly suppressed by 5 layers. I fell in front of myself. This feeling, think about what you have to do. Moreover, this has changed. If it is really time to inspire this kind of power, then even if it is higher than the 2 stages of its own, Long Fei has the confidence to kill. The earth is really a mother. You are too fond of me as a wanderer from afar. Ha ha ha, so, I have to see how sacred the saints of the heavens are. Long Fei thought in his heart, more and more violent. At this time, the power of the end of the sky disappeared directly. Even if it is suspended above the head, the power that comes down is also swallowed up by Long Fei. The next moment, Long Fei's gaze directly locked the 2. In an instant, the 2 eyes narrowed, such as smashing ice. You, what are you doing? I tell you, we are the people of Yangshou, if you dare to move us. It is against the sky, that is, against the people, when it is time, it is all the enemy. The shaman said madly. At this moment, the shadow of death has been shrouded in their hearts. And Long Fei, but did not agree. Exactly, use yours to prove it. What is this skill? Sanctions, out. Chapter 4687. Chapter 4687. Long Fei is indifferent. Step out and appear before the 2. At the same time, if there is a breath of nothing, as Longfei moves, it begins to float outside the body. In the hands of Longfei, there is also a glimmer of grey flames. In the distance, the shaman and the 7 stars and 2, seeing the moment of the flame in the hands of the dragon, the footsteps unconsciously retreat. This the power of the last law. How is this possible? How can this power be used? Who are you? The 7-star sword master screamed and screamed. At this moment, fear has completely shrouded his heart. Powerless to resist. Unable to struggle. Must die. A kind of negative emotion has become a voice in his consciousness. In the face of such a dragonfly, he always has a sense of disobedience, as if he is a cockroach ant, in the provocation of the dragon. Not only him, but also the shaman. I my repair, no. The shaman's leader screamed in horror. I saw that his body had been spread by the grey flame at the moment. The whole person is like crazy, jumping up and down, trying to get rid of the flame that is wrapped around him. However, it simply does not help. Only in an instant, the flame burned directly from the body to the Ling Tai. Then directly fell into the soul. And his cultivation is also in this moment, bursting. In the late stage of the flight, the mid-flying period, the early stage of the flight, and, in the end, the freeze is in the incarnation stage. Similarly, the 7-star sword master has not escaped the weakened destiny, repaired to a straight line, and finally set it at this level. And Longfei, in his eyes, burst into a light. 3 floors. I Nima, directly dropped 3 repairs as a grade. Rather than weakening the force by 30%. Longfei was forced. Immediately in the heart, bursting with a sizzling heat. This result is too crazy. Far beyond what Longfei thought before. 3 layers, and 3%. The difference between words is already a different day. This difference is most obvious when it comes to the current level of Longfei. Because, now, Longfei, every time you break through a level of repair, the combat power is multiplied by multiples. Therefore, weakening the 3 levels of cultivation is a fundamental difference. Thinking of this, Longfei's heart is also accelerating. Under the sky, this special thing is really the power of the sky. What power of the wild, what the power of the blood, in front of the end of the law, are slag. Longfei thought of crazy. The next moment, Longfei gazed at the turn, watching the shaman and the 7 stars and people squatting on the ground. The expression of fear is not as good as death. The heart is boring. Xuanyu, handed it to you. Don't be afraid of anything else. The power of the end of the law is already in control for me, using all your power directly, killing it. Longfei said faintly. Well, the big bad guys are optimistic. This girl is not the original. Xian Yu gave a light drink. Immediately repaired into an outbreak, the horror of the atmosphere condensed on her, suddenly moved. Fall directly in front of 2 people. Then the palm fell. Puff. The shaman leader was directly opened by Xian Yu. Even if they are all dead, both eyes are straight and dead. It seems that I am still scared. Why do I face the dragonfly? My own repair will instantly collapse. No, no. You can't kill me. I am the guest of China. I am the leader of the immortal. Now, the power of the last law has dissipated, and soon Yang can open another world through the social artifacts, and in the other world, there are my predecessors. If you kill me, by then, the world will not have your place. The 7-star leader threatened. At this moment, he was really scared. The shaman is the master of the past. Therefore, he can only threaten. However, this threat is too pale and powerless. Not to mention Longfei, that is, Xian Yu has not put this threat in the eye. Speaking so much nonsense, do you know that the power of the last law is gone? If it weren't for the power of the last law, would this girl have to suffer for so many years? Give me death. Xian Yu simply made a sound again. The 7-star sword main pupils gathered together, unable to drive the sword in their hands to resist. But, too funny. The mysterious jade that has been repaired has been unblocked, and the degree of terror has already exceeded this world too much. Not to mention that now, the 7-star sword master who died in the heyday is just a joke. Now, it's even more awkward. Hey! A palm falls. The main arm of the 7-star sword crashed, and even the 7-star long sword broke into pieces. However, Xian Yu did not want to stop here, and between the backhands, he took another hand and forced the face of the seven-star sword master. However, at this time, in addition to the distant void, a bright yellow light suddenly swept across the palm of the hand, and the seven-star sword master was firmly guarded. The thief, stop. A burst of drink came from afar. Immediately afterwards, Li Yu and 3 Yuan Ying's offerings appeared on the boy. Long Fei looked faintly in the past. At this time, these people, everyone has an excitement and killing in the eyes. Even now, I can't wait. Especially Li Yu, it is a kind of authority in hand, the expression that I have in the world. A good arrogant Tsihong Jingzhai, you have already fallen into a great disaster. Do you dare to kill the Lord of the Immortals? Don't you know that the aura has recovered? Is it the world of the people? Li was cold, and he was condescending. The perfect interpretation of the asterisk is the peak. Dog things, this girl wants to kill, is it that you can stop? People? That is your master. What about this girl? Get out of my way. Xian Yu is also a look of anger. With a wave of his hand, he waved out. However, the next scene, but the black and white flower eclipse. I saw this palm, as if hitting the iron wall. There was a loud noise. And she herself was even more shocked by the power of this earthquake. Even the tiger's mouth is shaking. Xian Yu's face changed. How is this possible? Exclaimed. Xian Yu's eyes are full of incredible. The gap in the cultivation is so that Xian Yu can confidently kill everyone. The result is unexpected. Ha ha ha, not self-reliant. The power of the Lord is what you can imagine. The power of the national movement, is your strength able to resist? One leaf blind, whimsical. Li was said in a cold voice. Then I looked at the seven-star sword master, the sword master. Now, I will bless the power of the national transport to help you kill the evil spirits. Li Yu said, carefully spread the palm of his hand. Immediately, a touch of yellow light flew directly from his hand and fell into the body of the seven-star sword. Boom. The next moment, the momentum of the seven-star sword master skyrocketed. Extremely majestic and heavy. It seems to carry the will of the whole world. Heavy pressure, the volley rises. As if at this moment, his will can influence the people. Chapter 4688. Chapter 4688. The whole world has become gloomy. The seven-star sword master jumped into the sky, and a mighty anger radiated from his body. Brush the brush. The light of the 7 stars descends from the sky. The light is shining. Hey! A more horrific scene also occurred at this time. I saw that the 7-star sword that had been broken had been reorganized. Moreover, under this radiant radiance, the atmosphere becomes more violent. As if the 7 stars were born in the world, the glory of the world. In the distance, Xian Zong's eyes panic. The face became extremely embarrassing. It seems that under this breath, it is also very uncomfortable. Long Fei's face is a condensate, and between the sound and the sound, the body breaths, directly blocking Xian Zong behind him. Then he reached out and pulled the figure of Xuan Yu. Dragonfly! Bastard! The 2 women were heavily open and their eyes were full of caution. Don't worry, there is me. Long Fei said faintly. I don't even care about it. Even with this kind of power, let the 7-star sword lord have the power to crush Xuanzang, but this does not mean that it is a threat to Long Fei. Even the shackles of the power of the saints are vulnerable to the battle of Long Fei. This is just the 7-star sword master who has the strength of the first-line national transport. For Long Fei, it is even more important. I don't care at all. After all the unsealing, in another world, it is already comparable to the Taijin Jinxian. Now, I can feel that this person has the peak power of Tai Jinxian. And, this power is extremely repulsive to me, as if all the power of practice is a fault. Xuanzang said. Right, big bad guys, I can feel it too. Even if I gave birth to a rebellious thought, I would have a feeling of hanging swords in the middle of the sky. The feeling of stinging the soul is extremely clear. Xian Yu echoed. Obviously also with fear. But Long Fei is a scornful smile. Don't care, Even if you have muscles and started the plane, the ants are still ants, and they are vulnerable. Longfei said. Extremely confident. Still do not put the 7-star Swordmaster in the eyes. At this time, the 7-star Swordmaster who was blessed by the power of the national movement opened his eyes and regained the 7-star sword. Ha ha ha, the power of the national transport, this is the power of the national transport. Oh, I have already said that if you dare to hurt me, you are an enemy of the Lord. Do you still believe? Oh, my strength now, even if the big Luo Jinxian came, can also make him beg for mercy. As for you, you will die. The 7-star Swordmaster holds the 7-star Swordmaster, and the momentum is soaring, talking to Longfei and others. A violent batch. As if now, he is the master of the earth. One can influence the life and death of Longfei and others. Ha ha ha, the Swordmaster is the Swordmaster, the national transport first, direct invincible. Yes, dare to be right with Yang, do not listen to the announcement, is to find death. Nowadays, the Swordmaster is a sword in hand, and it is as easy as a melon to cut vegetables. Yes, there is this evil spirit, are you arrogant? Without a saint, you are a fart. The Swordmaster, destroying him, Yang Shou is sure to have a lot of rewards, maybe, this national power to stay with you is not impossible. Immediately, Li is also said by 3 people. At this point, they are also very excited. Looking at the terrorist power of the 7-star Sword Lord, the stone in the heart is put down. In front of this kind of power, Longfei is in his eyes, it is already equivalent to a dead person. On the void, the main expression of the 7-star sword is also a cold smile. Good. Since Yang Shou wants their lives, then they will never have the possibility of surviving. 7-star sword, Dang Mo. The 7-star Swordmaster has ***** and a sword, referring to the day of drinking. Boom. In the endless nothingness, between the sudden, 7 stars, once again flashing. Moreover, every time it flashes, it is full of a sharp killing. Brush. Then, a sword screamed and passed, and it was almost like a dragon. Be careful. Big bad guy, blow him up. Xuanzang and Xuanyu open at the same time. 2 very different attitudes. But it can be seen that both of them are extremely concerned about Longfei. Longfei nodded slightly, and his voice did not move. He looked up and looked at the sword that fell in the air. Then, ***** were discovered. Thumb and index finger. Then, press the thumb on the index finger and gently slam. Ding. A crisp sound appeared. However, the long sword of the 7-star Swordmaster was directly fixed on the void. Then, rub it. The entire long sword that had just condensed the hustle and bustle broke again. Moreover, it is more thorough than the last time and becomes a powder directly. Even if you want to recover, it is impossible. And the entire palm of the 7-star Swordmaster, under this power, is also an instant burst, blood falling across the earth, falling to the earth. At this moment, time seems to stop. In addition to Longfei, light and arrogant, step by step on the void, approaching the 7-star Swordmaster, all the others, all wrong on the spot. Stunned. It seems to be a lost soul. Xianzong and Xian, you are okay. After all, for Longfei, there has long been a nameless confidence. I think that as long as it is a dragonfly, there is nothing that can't be done. But this is the case, the 2 look at the eyes of Longfei, or they are full of sorrow. It's so strong. Xuanzang whispered. A soft light flashed in the eyes, and a touch of shyness seemed like nothing. Xian Yu has some perception, and his eyes are dark, but he quickly hides the past. Yeah, my aunt, I really don't know how this is abnormal, how to cultivate it. I thought we had such a world shuttle and could have a sense of presence in front of him. It now appears that the gap is getting bigger and bigger. Xian Yu said a lot, and concealed his loss. At this time, Li is not far away from the 3. All of them are big eyes, staring at the dragon flying here. Hey, is this a joke? How can this be? We said the 3-person 1-person sentence has been chaotic, nonsense. It can be seen how powerful the shock brought by this scene is. Of course, the deepest feeling is naturally the 7-star Swordmaster. At this time, the seven-star sword master had long ago had no arrogance, and the whole face was painfully twisted together. This is not the case, because the sword was broken by the dragon and the palms of the hands were broken into pieces. The power of the national movement was also madly vented from him at the moment. His cultivation was also at this time being beaten back to the original shape. Unspeakable, Long Fei said faintly, and his footsteps went forward again. Then a punch hit. Hey! Boom! A burst of noise broke out from the void. Then, in the 7 stars sword lord is where it has also become a nothingness. The 7-star sword master, a fist to death. However, Long Fei, but there is no more stop, turn around, reach out and explore, directly to the power of the national transport that wants to be scattered, in the hands. A fierce glimpse. Pull back directly into your own hands. Chapter 4689. Chapter 4689. Long Fei looked at his hand and still groaned, trying to break away from the power of the so-called national transport he controlled. The corner of the mouth gradually appeared a smile. This smile is a surprise. Indeed, this power has indeed made Long Fei feel a touch of incitement. Of course, this incitement comes from Dantian. Because, just in the moment when this national power is held in the hands of Long Fei, Dantian, who had just been quiet, rioted again. Even the craving is more than the face of the last power of the law. As if it was a hungry man who had been hungry for a long time, and saw a table of feasts. I wipe, the system sister, shouldn't Dan Tianlian want to swallow this power? Although Long Fei's heart was pleasantly surprised, it also felt a little unbelievable. Contact system directly. Master your Dantian, I don't understand. You can only say that when your Dantian evolution is over, I am afraid that it will become the most terrible Dantian of the heavens. The system sister said. There was a bit of horror in the eyes. But it is extremely firm and full of expectations. That Long Fei asked. As if, now Dantian has become a pot. In general, what is the power of a brain is a word, swallow. There should be a complete sentence, and the upgrade is all about swallowing. Fortunately, every power that Dantian swallowed was extremely extraordinary, and when Long Fei looked forward to and surprised, he also gave birth to some concerns. After all, this is his own Dantian. Will it be too noisy and not categorical? Even said that beyond the limits of his own physical body. The master who is not, even if the power of engulfing is extremely special, but in the face of eternal power, it is not a level at all. At best, all this power is a ration for the eternal power. The power of eternal life is itself the power of the Tao, and all power cannot be above eternal life. Even if it is the supreme plane, the power of the system can go up with the power of eternal life. But it is impossible to suppress eternal life. The system sister said. And Long Fei, the heart is also excited. Out of the road. The two words are themselves an overriding one. The sect of the law, everything works, nothing more than a word. Now, in his own Dantian, not only does it contain the strongest forces in several ways. The power of eternal life itself is a kind of extraterritorial power. Long Fei even thought about it, and waited until the power of Dantian broke out. When, will you become a person outside the Tao? The law does not invade, and the road is invincible. I rub. Long Fei's heart was so excited that he was shocked by his own thoughts. Even, he did not dare to say to the system sister. However, my heart is extremely hopeful. Moreover, this expectation is not unrealistic. With this in mind, Long Fei looks at the power of the national movement in his hand. In China, there has always been a saying about the dragon's pulse. The so-called national transport is a country's air transport. In the end, it is also a dragon pulse. Since you want to swallow, then I will swallow you enough. Today, this is an appetizer. When you get through another world, when I will give you uprooted. Long Fei said. Of course, even now, Long Fei has no sense of belonging to China. However, the sin of one person is not enough to annihilate Long Fei's memory of China. However, it was born and died. Only by breaking down to destruction can we welcome new life. For this, Long Fei has already had a mind in mind. Everything, just wait for another world to get through. Between the talks, Long Fei will make a national power in his hands, and the heavens and the earth will be a furnace. Naturally, it will be a fire. This kind of familiarity can no longer be familiar with the means, and it will directly condense into Dan, and then swallow it into the belly. The next moment, Long Fei only felt a crisp sound in Dantian. Hey! It's like a tongue. As if, this thing is not enough to eat. It is a pity that there are no more resources now. Between the thoughts, there was a touch of impulse in Long Fei's heart. That is, do you want to take the initiative to fight it now, and directly kill the so-called Yang Shoshi, and then the Chinese nation will be swallowed up? However, this idea only appeared in the mind of Long Fei's mind and disappeared directly. Not for the other, just now Xiaoyu is still missing, and Long Fei has no intention to do anything else. Moreover, with regard to social artifacts, Long Fei has already guessed what it is. However, now that Yang Shoshi has not completely controlled this artifact, only when he is really in control can he be used for Long Fei. Therefore, even if Dan Tian is eager, Long Fei can only be suppressed. Don't worry, there is a day for you to eat enough. Long Fei appease. As if to comfort the baby, softly said. What surprised Long Fei was that Dan Tian was quietly under his comfort. Then, it seems to be caught in a sleep, the ancient well has no waves. Long Fei's heart is also a loose. At the same time, there is a lot of helplessness. It is clearly his own Dan Tian, but now it is not only what power can't be used, but also has to work hard to find rations for it. This kind of feeling, but the difference is that Long Fei believes that it will not be long before it will be able to keep the cloud open and see the moon. Dan Tian will certainly give him a surprise. Thinking of this, Long Fei was moving and came to Shenzong. Looking at the turn, directly locked Li by 3 people. I heard that you are looking for me? Long Fei asked. From these 3 populations, Long Fei has already guessed the identity of 3 people. Nothing more, it is the protection of the Chinese state. That is, at the beginning, relying on Xiao Yue, he became the first person to practice. For such a person, born to be anti-bone, Long Fei's heart is scornful and extremely disgusting. Therefore, now that an opening is a threat. Puff puff. The 3 men are ***** and arrogant. Do not spend money, from the 7. Li Yu opened his mouth and wanted to say something. However, a word was not finished, and the whole person directly burst under the pressure of Long Fei and became a ***** fog. Then the other 2 were not spared. Also turned into a pool of blood fog, no traces. Xian Yu and Xuanzang stepped forward and stood beside Long Fei. Oh, deserving, a group of dogs and people who are arrogant, do not know how to live and dare to provoke big bad guys, and find their own way. Xian Yu said coldly. Xuanzang, but a face of silence. As if in my heart, I still don't know how to face Long Fei. But Long Fei, at this time, was silent. Because, just as he exerted the pressure of the moment, he clearly felt that his own Dantian was echoing. It has directly linked the eternal life, and extradition of force from the eternal life. Directly kill the 3. I rub. This is Dan Tian's power. Can the power of even the eternal life be called? If the deduction is really completed, to what extent is the horror? Long Fei's heart was forced to triple. Similarly, it was shocked by the horror of Dan Tian. Chapter 4691. Chapter 4691. The yellow sand is full of turmoil. It is like a forbidden place. Even the 3 dragons can feel that the body instinct is dissatisfied. Big bad guys, why are our repairs already above this world, or will they be affected by the forces of nature in this world? Xuanyu asked. At this time, Xuanyu looked pale and yellow, and after being baptized by Huangshuo, there was no exquisiteness before. Long hair has been entangled, and the lips have become chapped due to lack of moisture. Of course, Xuanzang is better. But there are also doubts, and there are some unbelief in the beautiful nephew. Only Long Fei, everything is as usual. It is said that everything is as usual. In fact, Long Fei can also feel the influence of the world on himself. However, His current physical strength and the power of the last law are too strong and directly annihilate these effects. Directly making this effect is equivalent to none. But still said, it is normal, the last law power of this world has been eliminated by me. This ridiculous desert is no longer a simple desert. Long Fei reached out and put the strength of the last law into the body of Xuanyu, slowly speaking. Simple and clear. This feeling, as long as Long Fei first swallowed the power of the end of the law, has already been expected. Or, this is a message that the system passed to him. The end method dissipated and the myth returned. Therefore, this change is entirely in the expectation of Long Fei. But the more so, the more excited Long Fei is. This also shows that the trajectory of another world has been connected to this place. The advent of the mythological era is already in sight. And Long Fei is excited, it means that his system tasks can finally be launched. At this time, the yellow sand of the sky suddenly boiled up, the dust was over the sky, and the hurricane began to rise. Dust storm? Big bad guys, is this lowland's foundation so strong? Is it possible to control the yellow sand? Xuanyu changed his face and said. Now, Xuanyu has returned to normal. But seeing the sweeping of the sky and the yellow sands, it still shows a shock. Oh, Lulan, this is a lost civilization. It seems that it should be associated with this desert. Long Fei said, step by step. Hold Xuanyu and Xuanzong behind. This is basically an instinct. Although this dust is tyrannical, it is impossible to hurt Xuanzang and Xuanyu. However, Long Fei never let his woman stand in front of her. Boom! Between the blink of an eye, the dust raged and the tornado whizzed. The dragon and the dragon are twinkling, the eternal life is fretting, and a golden light directly pierces the void, and everything is in sight. Dog meat buns, can't get on the countertop. Long Fei dismissed. Under the eternal life, everything is invisible. This so-called dust explosion is just a man's instrument, and it is only a wave. If it really can affect the sky, Long Fei may have some interest in this ancient land of Langua. But now, it's boring. In the next moment, in the face of the sandstorm that rushed, Long Fei said nothing, and punched it out. Boom! A force to break the law. This has always been the habit of Long Fei, the ancient world is like this, the universe is so, and now it is still back to earth. What kind of means to control Nima? I have a fist to break it. Rumble. Under the dragon's fist, the raging dust in front of him was slamming. Direct crash in half space. Hey! A black shadow also appeared, telling the fall above the void. However, it has not yet landed. Just by the dragon's stamina, it is directly smashed into glutinous rice. Brush. The blood is foggy and the sky is empty. However, in the middle of the desert, the touch of red is still explained. All this is true. It turned out to be a person. Long Fei, it seems that I think it is complicated. Xuanzang frowned. We must know that her cultivation has been unsealed, and the real strength is that she has already surpassed Jinxian. Before, the dust exploded, and she felt a bit uncomfortable. I think that this so-called Lulan has been able to control the natural forces of heaven and earth. In the end, it was blown by a dragon. Everything is also falling out of the water. However, it is only one person. It's not so complicated. A group of parasites exist in the desert, relying on the desert to breed a little wealth to make a fortune. Long Fei said with a smile. I have never put Lulan in my heart. Whether it is the current sandstorm or the tower that was condensed in the capital of China. It's just that the ancient country of Lulan used its own means to condense it. As for the change of the day, affecting the nature of the world, they are not enough for this qualification. Xuanyu was also coming forward at this time, and it was shining in the desert. Big bad guys, what is this? I can feel that this thing contains a very strong atmosphere. Xuanyu said with excitement. Long Fei's eyes are also fixed in the hands of Xuanyu. A silver needle, like a silver needle, flashing cold long thorns. The next moment, Long Fei's face changed slightly, and he held back his smile. A look of fun. What are you laughing at? What the asterisk is this? Xuanyu asked with a puzzled face. It's a one-body hair. Longfei said. The smile on his face is stronger. Of course, there is still a look. Hey, Xian Yu looked disgusted and directly lost the long thorn in his hand. However, Longfei was directly in the hands and said, "It seems that we don't think it's complicated. I only think that this group of people is relying on the desert and parasitic desert. I can't think of it, it's worse than I thought. They are parasitic, but they are just a beast." Longfei said. At the moment of seeing this long thorn, Longfei's heart has already been concerned. Intuition tells him that the owner of this long thorn should be said to be the body. Not simple. It is even more likely to be a boss. And this is what Longfei is most eager for. Nothing is more refreshing than the impact of a boss. As soon as I read this, there was a glimmer of light in the dragonfly's scorpion. And at this time, the entire horizon, suddenly dark. The wind is great. If you say that before, a sandstorm is just a temptation. So now, the real fight is just about to begin. In front of the eyes, endless dust and dust directly cover half of the sky. Rumble. Rumble. The dust was like a knife, and it was splitting the sky, and there was a burst of roaring noise. At the same time, the image of a watchtower directly emerged in the void. A white-robed old man, holding a scepter, stands in an illusion. Then, one finger forward. Hey! The next moment, endless darkness, moments swept through. Take it to you here, just break it with a sword. Don't think too much. Longfei said, and then stepped out and went straight for 9 days. There is only one goal for him, and that is the old man above the tower. The thief smashes the king and kills the thief. Positive hard liver. Chapter 4692. Chapter 4692. Swing up straight, and pacify. Just a few breaths of time, Longfei's figure has already been on the tower. Below, the Buddha is reproduced. The sword whispers, like a harvest, directly into the endless darkness. Immediately, there was a burst of mourning. Seeing this result, Longfei mouth smiled. Look at the old man in front of you. This is your ability. With these, dare to play with fire, not afraid to burn you. Longfei smiled coldly, like a gaze of death. The old man's face changed and he suddenly slammed back a few steps at this time, under the desert. Glass jade tile, carved bar jade. There are long songs everywhere, and the candles are bright. The whole is a dream world, filled with quaint atmosphere everywhere. Like, a lost civilization is reproduced here. In this ancient world, it is not the darkness of imagination. Everything is still the same as the outside world. The stars are all over the sky. There is no difference between the real world and the real world. At this time, among the stars in the sky, suddenly a pattern of strange, and very strange. This pattern is like a totem. But at this time, it is shimmered by countless stars, and it seems to be tall and up. In short, it is mysterious and weird. It seems to be an ordinary picture, and it is crowned with the name of the master. Then, countless people fell to the ground directly, like a pilgrimage. At this time, in this mysterious country, a group of strict and shady figures covered under the whole body, the stars hold the moon, carrying a sedan chair. Take the time to go. The queen is patrolling, and the souls pray. A sharp voice came out and spread through the void. Everyone's expression is at this moment, and it is full of awe. Queen Wanfu, Lulan is immortal. Queen Wanfu, Lulan is immortal. Queen Wanfu, Lulan is immortal. A cover was heard. All are respected. Like the word of the saint, for them, it represents a supreme honor. Then, a pair of jade hands slowly opened the window of the sedan chair, watching the people in front of their eyes, a flash of satisfaction in the eyes. Then, the owner of the jade hand went straight out of the sedan chair. Spread your hands together and face the pattern on the void. Brush it. The next moment, the stars fell. Directly enshrining this so-called queen under the starlight, like a fairy god, full of mystery and brilliance. My people, the people of God. The spirit will return, and eternal life will come. In my name, pray for my people. Bath the light and enjoy the gods. The whole body of the woman begins to overtake the void, as if she is greeted by the gods. As if the stars of the sky also felt the call. Suddenly, the light is flourishing. One after another, they fall directly on the creatures that fell on the ground. And a few are weird. These people's figures are actually directly worn by the stars, as if they are illusory. However, these people did not react at all. Until the stars retreated, they remained in awkward posture. And at this time, the previous voice is coming again. Blessing is finished. The sound came out. And the so-called queen, slowly falling from the void, re-entered the sedan. Then, the curtain was reopened. How, my world! The queen once again opened the buckle, the voice is like a beggar, the spirit is twirling, and the sound is moving. On the side, there was a woman in white. Oh, I don't know what it is. But it is a utopia that is bred by a beast, and lives in such a world. Is it a sense of accomplishment? A voice came out. Cold and ruthless. Not someone else, it is Xiao Yue. At this time, Xiao Yue has gone all the way up and down, and there is no slight aura fluctuation. Obviously, it is repaired and imprisoned. No, this is only temporary. The great world has arrived, the era of mythology is coming, and our patron saint will be sealed, and everything here will no longer be illusory. Everything will become a reality, the woman said. The tone is very impulsive. Apparently, Xiao Yue's words seemed to touch her nerves. Let her be extremely resistant. So, a desperate explanation. But Xiao Yue is a disdain. Deceive yourself. Count on a beast. Can you really be born out of nothing? Do you really be able to recreate your life? Do you really change the rules? Wake up, everything can't be done. The perfect queen, Xiao Yue said in a sentence of irony. Even if it is now being imprisoned, it is still determined to be like iron, and it does not give anyone in front of it any room to slow down. In front of me, a woman with a scarf is even more crazy dancing, and the breath of her body has become extremely terrifying. No. You are tempting my heart. You are killing my will. The patron saint is born in the heavens and the earth, and it is extremely powerful. It is impossible to understand the horror of it. There is a stun in the eyes of the queen, as if the faith in the soul was bombarded, and it was angered. Xiao Yue sneered. No longer responding. She is very clear that if anyone else says something like this, he will not hesitate to be killed by the elite queen. You can be partial to yourself, there is no way to perfect the queen. Do not dare to shoot, cannot shoot. Even her words can directly strike the fear of the queen's heart. No, saint, you must lie to me, right? Look, if it weren't me, now you have been sent to China as a gift. I am your savior, you must lie to me, right? The Queen of the Eyes is full of expectations. As if, I look forward to getting a satisfactory answer from Xiao Yue. Xiao Yue's face changed slightly, but it was not moving. But pity. You are pitiful. Your legend, I knew it before the heavens and the earth changed. I thought that you are a legend that has been given color by mythology. I can't think of it, but it is a poor idiot who dreams of dreaming. Xiao Yue said, there is no mercy. And, haven't your people already done it already? But I have to say that you really did the wrong choice. The moment you choose to be enemies with him, the ending is already doomed. Xiao Yue said. And the face of the perfect queen has changed. Gu Yue, you are toasting, not eating and drinking, this is the will of the patron saint. His will is definitely not wrong. Don't worry, the white elders have already shot, and now your man should have been in the sand world. As long as he is not a fairy, then the result will die. The queen of the queen said coldly. But Xiao Yue, but a smile. Looking around, staring at the perfect queen, said one word, Xian? It doesn't match his shoes. Chapter 4693. Chapter 4693. The queen's face was stunned and she looked at Xiao Yue. Ha ha ha, that's ridiculous. Have you experienced the terrible fairy? Do you know what is a fairy? At that time, you have not experienced it, you don't know it. I don't know what is called you. It seems that you are not very good. As the first person in the world to wake up, the patron saint said that you are special, it seems, but it is. The refinement of the queen's voice gradually became cold. As if, Xiao Yu's words have made her angry and angry. I don't want to continue talking at all. But Xiao Yue, in the eyes, there is a touch of tenderness. I don't know the immortal in your mouth, what the asterisk is going on. But I know, for me, he is willing to slaughter. Xiao Yu's voice said softly. There was also a blush on his face. Even the bottom of my heart, once again, the face of Longfei. As if looking forward to, Longfei is coming soon. Tuxian. Ha ha ha, it's a joke. Even if his repair is stronger than you, it is a waste. The White Guardian has already stopped. I believe that if I can't use it for a while, I will return. Of course, maybe it is the return of the person who carries your sweetheart, said the queen. The sound is cold, extremely ruthless. And it was the moment when his voice fell. The whole world was shaken. As if to confirm the words of the imperial queen. Booming. Rumble. Rumble. Like an earthquake, huge impacts came directly to the ground. And the queen is perfect, but the smile on her face is gradually solidified. This the exquisite queen spit out a word. Nothing, just because the reaction now far exceeds her perception. And Xiao Yue, there is a glimmer of light in his eyes. It seems that things are not the same as you think. I guess, you may see the head of your so-called White Guardian. Of course, it's very likely that you won't even see a touch of grey. Xiao Yue looked awkward. At the same time, looking forward to the void. At this time, in this long and vein, the stars are like fire, and one has fallen. How is this going? Don't you just pray for us? Does this lead us to eternal life? The person who just experienced the baptism of the stars, this moment is also a face. But what is more pitiful is that they face the spark of the sky, but there is no fear. Instead, it became a kind of Fukuzawa. Even when it became the sublimation after this blessing. Thought that this is really someone who is giving them eternal life. Therefore, in the face of this spark from the sky, do not evade. Not only that, but also open the arms, as if waiting for the arrival of an eternal life. Do not. At this time, the imperial queen broke out with a roar. Sharp. Terror. It seems that it is full of helplessness and powerlessness. However, everything will not stop because of her will. Rumble. Rumble. A piece of stars fell, the fire was like a ruin, and the heavy fallen on the ground. And these, the residents of Lulan ancient country, with this power, and one by one dissipated. No longer exists. Don't be like this, it shouldn't be like this. The patron saint, where are you? The screams of the queen's hysterical. The whole person has long since lost the nobleness. As if, in a flash, all beliefs and strengths are lost. In fact, all of this, in the eyes of Xiao Yue, is completely redundant. Festive and creative. Because of all this, this is a fake. Originally their patron saint, that is, the beast in her mouth, created the illusion. Therefore, in Xiao Yu's view, even if these people are all dead, there is no impact on her. However, her expression has changed at this moment. Abnormal excitement. Longfei brother, Xiao Yue exclaimed. Between heads up, a look is awkward, like a child who is doing something wrong, looking at the figure that appears from the air. The rumble was rumbled. At this time, with the appearance of Longfei, a huge roar broke out. Then, everything in the sky disappeared. The yellow sand is rolling and floating in the sky. The previous stars retreated and the dream disappeared. The only thing that emerged was a hole and a rundown. The drum tower covered by the yellow sand, even the sleek queen, the glamour of his body collapsed at this moment. Become a dry corpse. However, the accident still exists after all. The imperial queen who became a corpse still did not dissipate, and she still had the painful expression of sorrow and horror. However, this expression is manifested in a dry body. Too scary. And Longfei, also indifferent to see everything in front of him. The waves are not shocked. Only when Xiao Yue exclaimed, Longfei's eyes showed a soft touch. Hey! As soon as the figure moved, Longfei came directly to Xiao Yue. A look of nervous expression. Xiao Yue was unable to control the excitement in her heart, and fell into the arms of Longfei. Longfei, brother, Xiao Yue said softly. Reassured, nothing. As for them, they will pay for their own actions. Longfei said quietly. Right, what about Li Yu? When they first shot you, I have already made a foreshadowing. Once you are in danger, the fish will break out. Longfei said. Oh, yes, Longfei brother, you are going to save the fish. At the beginning, I was taken here by the people of this Lulan, but I was imprisoned. Li Fish was taken away. As for what I am now, I am not sure. Xiao Yue said guilty and panicked. After all, if it wasn't for her temper, she would sullenly leave Longfei and give the other party a chance to do so, and there would be nothing in the present. Longfei's face was slightly indulged. No problem, Li Yu is not as simple as you think. Maybe, after he leaves the customs, he can directly surpass the vast majority. As for the beast, there should be no such big appetite, and the fish will be swallowed. Longfei said. No one knows more about him than what he is doing now. Moreover, no one knows that in addition to the blood and flesh and blood essence of the dragonfly, Longfei also has a drop of blood in it. If this is the so-called cockroach, I really don't know how to live and want to swallow the fish. At that time, Longfei will feel the first time. And taking advantage of the refining moment of the other party, Longfei will arrive in an instant. As for how powerful there is, in the end, Longfei never considers it. Even if it is very strong, it is very likely that it is like a boss, and Longfei asks himself, by his own means, he can definitely get it. That's good, that's good. I'm really afraid of any accidents in Li Yu. I don't know how to face you when I get there. Xiao Yue said wronged. Longfei gently patted Xiao Yue in his arms, which is comfort. At this time, the figures of Xuanzang and Xuanyu also appeared step by step. Longfei chuckled, and there was no accident for the two to return in such a short time. However, I have not had time to speak. There was a sudden sound in my mind, hey, congratulations to the player to trigger the sideline mission, Xianmen Terminator. Chapter 4694. Chapter 4694 Huagua. Yang Shoshi has already received the messenger of Lulan. Black Robe Guardian. So, the saint has become the person of the day? Can you understand all the illusions? So, will you be invited to the ancient country of Lulan? Yang Shoshi said with a squint. The voice is indifferent. There is no slight mood swing at all. Only this point, you can see this person, the city is extremely deep. The moment before, in the presence of Li Yu and others, he expressed his deep affection for Xiao Yue. At this moment, I was able to face the problem of Xiao Yue being tied up. I have to say that the world owes him a movie award. If Longfei is here, he must not hesitate to erect a middle finger. Amazing, the first hand is like. The Son of Heaven is ruthless. Today, although the country has changed, the world has changed. However, Yang Shoshi is a contemporary person, and the contemporary masters still inherit this nature. It seems that this is an unchanging rule. Just as he can understate Zhongrong Si, he is indifferent to the death of Li and others. Even at this time, a smile on the face of the person who guarded his hand before, said joy. You can see you're coming out. In his eyes, there is only interest. No, of course not only. Since we were born when the evil demon killed Lushan, it is natural that we are more concerned about the things between heaven and earth. So after some performances of the Chinese saints, we naturally look in the eyes. So, we are also willing to push the boat and use it as our sincerity. The black robe said, a look of respect. It seems that after the shock of Yang Shoshi, already completely honest, there is no heart in any resistance. There is no sense of self-esteem. Oh, the saint is self-deprecating and chooses to enter the devil. You can stop the loss in time and help the return of the Virgin. This is not a happy heart. So, your sincerity I accepted. Just, where is the saint now? Yang Shoshi asked. Asked the old man in black robe. Of course it is in our Lulan. But Yang Shou wants to know, it is also very simple, waiting for me to even force, condense Lulan, give Yang Shou a look. Exactly, Please also look at Yang Shou, my Lolan's past style. The black robe said. A scepter appeared in his hand. The top of the scepter, like the night pearl, is full of dream power. Hey, now, simple and clear. Just like giving orders. The next moment, above the scepter, the light shines, and then directly gathers in the air. Then, a scene directly appeared. It's a pity that there is nothing beautiful in this situation. There are yellow sand everywhere, broken city walls everywhere, broken walls, ridiculous and run down. How, Yang Shu? I'm a good guy in Lulan. The black robe said. He didn't even look in the air in his eyes. Just in the eyes, but with a strong confidence. Believing in your own hands will definitely shock everyone. At this moment, everything is as he expected, and everyone is shocked by the content presented in this midair. Even exaggerated to an extent that is incomprehensible. Even Yang Shoshi, who was silent, took a deep breath. It seems to have been shocked. Black robes are more proud of their hearts. Yang Shou, this is the status quo of my Lulan. How is it? The black robe said faintly. Talking about it, there was a smile on his face. Yang Shoshi's eyes glimpsed. Luolan ancient country, yes. It's actually very good. However, have you ever thought about the consequences of playing the game? Yang Shoshi's voice sank, and a murderous machine appeared in the eyes. The black robe is a glimpse. As if I realized the general, I suddenly turned around. This no, impossible, what happened? Who is it? Who is it? The black robe man suddenly became confused. All the previous cockroaches disappeared. The whole person was too excited, and the floating emptiness of the void disappeared. Hey, Yang Shou, I think this person is simply coming to the glory and there is no surrender. Yes, I don't know the old things that live and die, and I dare to be so arrogant when I am a mythical civilization. There are more monkeys, and some people will be confused. Yang Shou, it's time to kill 100. 3 voices came out. They are the only 3 guardians in China. At this time, the 3 people were surprisingly unified. Obviously, the things that the black robes used to deal with them were still sorrowful. No, Yang Shou, you listen to me. Not like this. Someone shot my Lulan. Damn, who is it? So. The black robe was excited and explained in a hurry. It is already late. Yang Shoshi has no heart to listen to so much. At the moment when the black robe was open, Yang Shoshi's palm was already coming. Hey. When one palm fell, the black robe was directly photographed as meat. Death. And the scepter in his hand, at this moment, Jingle, fell to the ground. One of the 3 guards, stepping forward, is going to pick it up, and unexpectedly change. This scepter is like a living being, and suddenly goes away. It was only a moment that it disappeared. The direction of disappearance is where Lulan is. The picture turns again, in the Lulan. The face of Longfei's face remained the same, but his heart was already shocked. Spurline mission? Coming to the Earth world, Longfei has activated the mainline mission. That is the myth of recovery. There is no doubt that now the outbreak of the branch mission is definitely the main line of service. Then, Longfei's eyes turned and locked on the system page. Task: End the world of Xianmen, or the Terminator of the Xianmen. Level: S level. Time: 1 year. Task reward: Xianting Baojian. Task punishment: Death. Current progress: 3/100. Longfei's breathing has become rushed. The arrival of this mission made Longfei somewhat unexpected. Xianting Baojian? How are you so familiar? Longfei looked at the reward column and thought of it in his heart. For the reward, it really made Longfei somewhat disappointed. But when you think about the difficulty of the task, you will be relieved. Such a task, for Longfei, is like the cyclical task of the mission world. Following the development of the timeline, it will always be completed. Longfei brother, what's wrong with you? But at this time, Xiao Yu's voice suddenly came. A dragon flies, and then the heart turns. Some accidentally glanced at Xiao Yu. Nothing, just thinking about something. Longfei replied. Xiao Yu nodded slightly, not much. But on the face, I looked at Longfei with a deep look. Longfei brother, let's go. This woman does not matter. But behind this Lulan is an ancient beast. I am afraid that we can't hold back. Xiao Yue said openly. And Longfei, but did not agree. Don't be afraid, the purpose of my coming is to explode this so-called beast. As for what Queen Lulan, killing is. Longfei said, pointing a little, a black light swept through and went straight to Queen Lulan who had become a dead body. Yes, it is at this time. A roar appeared from the ground. Then, the golden light skyrocketed. Chapter 4695. Chapter 4695. The golden light is shining, and it's awkward. The boundless golden light shines through the yellow sand and reflects the world. At the same time, an inexplicable force broke out. Boss finally came out. Longfei's heart is a joy. However, it was just when Longfei was ready to start. The entire space in front of the eyes has become blurred. During the negligence, all the ruins disappeared, and the yellow sands of the sky also passed away. There is no trace of the trace. Instead, it is a stretch of mountains. Everything has no sense of disobedience. Longfei's eyes changed. Suddenly, the heart is empty, like a big dream, suddenly silent. But when Longfei looked up again, well? Is this, Dragon my mountain? Longfei was shocked. It feels incredible. At this time, he is standing at the end of Long My Mountain, outside the Dragon Market. One step away, you can enter the Dragon Market. Is this a fantasy? Longfei's heart sank. Even there was some confusion in his mind. Everything in front of me is too real, and it is true that he even suspects that everything he has experienced on Earth before is a fantasy. But at this time, a figure came. Husband, now the ups and downs of the world have been fixed, and the honor has been extinguished, and we, finally, can finally be kept together. It is Liu Luo Creek. Liu Luoshi looked happy and close to Longfei, and fell on the dragon's chest. Then, one familiar figure after another began to appear. From ambiguity to clarity, gradually gathered. Husband, what are you doing? Today is a good sister giving birth, you don't have to be stunned with excitement. Xiao Tiantian said. Longfei slightly frowned. Reaching out and touching Xiao's sweet face. The soft fragrance is still the same, even the shame on the face, it is just right. Don't you die? Longfei asked. Everything is too real, and even let Longfei have a feeling that he just slept. And everything about the earth seems to be a dream. Yes, husband, after you enter the Dragon Market, return to repair and rise, and destroy the honor with a ruin. And now, we can finally hold it. Yuro said. There was something wrong with it that touched Longfei's forehead. No fever, what do you think is nonsense? Yu softly smiled. Daddy, what happened? Is it that there is no fighting spirit when it is said that it has been destroyed? Small Invincible also came forward. At this time, the little Invincible is close to the adult. It is even more aggressive. Even with a sense of oppression. Lian Longfei feels that his son is definitely not simple at this time. Subconsciously, Longfei swept his body and glanced at his cultivation. Breakthrough? Longfei can clearly perceive that his current strength is extremely powerful. It has already broken through the category of super successfulness and reached an unspeakable level. Of course, it is not unspeakable. But Longfei actually discovered that he was extremely strange to this kind of realm. In my mind, I can't even find a level to describe. Long before, at the level after the super great perfection, Longfei was not in contact. The gods of the ancient world, the kings of the heavens and the kingdom of the world, which are repaired, are above the super great perfection. However, there is really no fixed name to describe this one level. The only real feeling is that it is powerful. The feeling for Longfei is that the destruction of the ancient world between the backhands is a simple matter that can be done. Not only that, but the dragon flies in the midst of it, and even breeds one, with my invincible will. It is an overriding one. Alone in the world. As long as you think about it, time and space, everything is in your own hands. Flying, now the ancient world has been calm. In the middle of the universe, Long Ting re-established, we can finally sit back and relax. What are your plans for next? At this time, Longfei's mother, the aunt, also began to come over and said with kindness. Yes, it is kindness. Just like the instinct of all mothers. Dragon caught. Intend. A dragon flies. Immediately, a feeling of splitting headaches swept away. A kind of picture in my mind suddenly appeared out of thin air. In the picture, Longfei took the sun and the moon, and stepped on the stars. One town is respectful. Then he tried to be a master of countless respects. Finally, at the very center of Wanjie, set up Longting. Then returned to Longmai Mountain. Everything is so real. But Longfei, there is a sense of rejection in his heart. It seems that this kind of truth is too coincident. It's like saying that you need it, and then it's there. Then, Longfei looked at the people who lived and died in front of him. The heart softens again. The original is like this. Longfei's heart whispered to himself. But not much to say. Next. Everything is calm. Longfei and each of his own women are gentle, and they learn from their two sons and point to practice. I have done filial piety for my parents. Everything is going on in silence. Even, Longfei also concentrated on staying with ye for a while. Until your child is born. Longfei was in his arms, and his eyes finally gave birth to a few changes. What happened to my husband? Is it too exciting to see the child? Right, husband, give your child a name. Unfortunately, our children have not been able to be as invincible as two brothers. Easy to say. Longfei shook his head slightly. In front of the eyes, it is easy to face the face, but suddenly there is a touch of grievances. How? Do you think I am useless? Didn't give birth to a born and invincible son? Easy to have a grievance. But Longfei, but he shook his head slightly. I have to say that this dream is really difficult to distinguish between true and false. If it wasn't for my time, I might be willing to stay a little longer. However, if you give me a reunion, I can give you a chance to make you die. Now, annihilate. Longfei said indifferently, and his eyes, including Yi Rongrong, and his son, who is still in the violent, began to annihilate a little. Like a dream bubble, it disappears instantly. Then, one by one, they all began to turn into fly ash. Longmai Mountain, the ancient world, everything, all disappeared. Waiting for Longfei to open his eyes again, everything in front of him returned to reality. It's ruined and endless. And, a behemoth with golden light. In the moment when Longfei opened his eyes, the giant beast smashed. Roar. A step back, still staring at Longfei. And Longfei, but can clearly feel that the other party is in fear. Longfei smiled. How, seeing my heart, creating a dream, but you are afraid of yourself? Longfei asked with a smile. No, impossible. Who are you? Why do you have such a terrible memory? And your heart, what are you going to do? You, the beast, is terrified and has no choice. Chapter 4696. Chapter 4696. For the beast, this is a terrorist trip. His strength is extremely special. He can sneak into the heart of the people silently, and based on people's past memories and thoughts in the heart, and condense a scene. Once the other party, I really sink into it. That is, the real death is coming. However, this time, he really kicked the iron plate. Or, from the time he tried to shoot for Longfei, the result was already doomed. Because some people, even if they remember, can kill. Waves, a series of fluctuations appeared at this time. Only Si Xuanzang and Xian Yu and Xiao Yue, at this time one by one wake up. However, they have a blush on every face. Obviously, a perfect scene created by gives a few people. However, because Longfei wakes up, all this is also shattered. Dragonfly. Longfei brother, this, big bad guys, what the asterisk is going on? The three men looked awkward and some were unhappy. It seems that I am still somewhat immersed in the previous fantasy scene. Just like the former queen, even if it turned into a corpse, it is still immersed in the dream world that the beasts condense. Even the beast is regarded as the patron saint, and is extremely respectful. Nothing but a beast, creating a dream for you. I woke up, he was chaotic, and your dreams were naturally broken. Long Fei said nothing, but his eyes were on the beast. A glimpse of the beast's instinct. Welcome the eyes of Long Fei, full of fear. Even the body began to tremble. Respect, drive, this is actually a misunderstanding. I don't know, she is your woman, and I haven't hurt her. If you can let me go, I will be successful in the future and I will help you once in the future, said the beast. Directly quoted. It is that Long Fei is a bit aggressive. Feeling the routine, it is totally wrong. Now the beast, there is still a little boss. Just a fantasy, just bow down and think. As if Long Fei is a person who is heinous and lawless. Misunderstanding? Repeat a sentence in the dragon's mouth. Then there was no retelling, and the body was shocked. Invincible punches, bursting into the void. Boom. The violent vibrations started with the waves. The void cracks appear directly in front of Long Fei. After all, Long Fei's current combat power is too horrible. Even if it is unwrapped to the super-consumed fivefold day, it has already exceeded this world too much. As I said before, the current Long Fei is already comparable to Da Luo. What is the concept of Da Luo? Long Fei does not have a specific understanding. But in such a world that is not yet immortal, Long Fei is confident that no one can be his own enemy. Rumble. Under the punch, everything in front of him was shattered. This is already a rundown of the Lulan monument, under the fist of Long Fei, completely annihilated. And the beast in front of me is also in this moment, the hair is blowing up. A root is like a barb. Exudes cold light. Hey. The beast seems to feel the horror of Long Fei, and I have already used Long Fei as a nightmare. Passing through the memory of Long Fei, for him, it is more terrible than the experience of this life. For those who pick up the stars between the fingers and take the moon, the picture of destroying the enemy is a torment of the soul. Therefore, at this moment, the dragon flew out of the box, and he did not dare to resist. Turn around and run away. However, at the moment of Long Fei's shot, it is impossible to escape. This punch. Time. Space. Sun and moon. Penalties. 7 rules are condensed. At the moment of punching, all the noisy forces will be annihilated between heaven and earth. Through an invincible killing. Invincible. Punch the enemy. Hey. In a blink of an eye, Long Fei punches and directly penetrates the body of the beast, causing the beast to fall directly from the void. Rumble. The huge impact has stirred up endless smoke. Among the yellow sand wastes, the beasts are dying. However, Long Fei has no further action. If it is put before, he is sick and wants his life. It is definitely the choice of Long Fei. But now, on the body of the beast, the boss golden light is still not reduced. But there is no slight change in blood. This made Long Fei somewhat curious. I want to find out. The next moment, in the eyes of Long Fei, there was also a touch of awe. Because it was just a blink of an eye, the ***** hole worn by Long Fei's body was disappeared. The beast also stood up again. Except for a little weaker than before, there is no trace of any injury. The restored beast has a flat face. But when the line of sight and Long Fei looked at each other, it was still difficult to contain a panic. Respect, you have seen it, there is a power in my body. Under this power, I am not dead. I don't want to be an enemy of you. I believe that you can also perceive that the world has changed. It will not take long before the real mythical world will reappear. By the time, no matter what you want to do, I can help you. The beast continued to say. Long Fei chuckled. Immediately shake your head. I am looking forward to getting the strength of your body compared to the beast that you will only create. Long Fei said. In the eyes, flashing light. He has already guessed. If there is no accident, the one on the body that will restore him instantly. It should be like a beggar. It is a saint force. In addition to this, Long Fei believes that there is absolutely no power to be able to remain undead under his own punch. At this time, when the beast heard Long Fei, the eyes were instantly drowned by the color of fear. No, you can't do this. The power in me is the power of the saint. Do you want to rebel? You are looking for death. The beast is crazy. Longfei's words are much more terrifying than the nightmare that Longfei brought to him. It is more terrible than death to anger the saint. But suddenly, the beast's expression was a meal. In the mind, I saw the memory of Longfei and the picture of the dragon flying. He was shocked. He found that Longfei, who has this kind of means, does not really need to be afraid of saint. One thought of this, the beast directly fell to the ground. Adult, don't kill me. The saints have laid down strength on me. I want to make me plot the artifacts of the community, to gather the will of the people, and to gather the incense faith. If the adults can let me go, I can use my power to serve the adults, confuse people, and condense the incense for the adults. The beast is crazy, and in the eyes, it has been replaced by endless fear. Because of this moment, Longfei, in his eyes, is already comparable to the horror of saints. He even knows clearly that if it is not the power of the saint, in front of Longfei, he is an ant, and he can pinch it to death. So, at this moment, what sage layout he has left behind. The only thing I think about is to survive in front of Longfei. But at this time, a mysterious light floats directly from the beast. Dare to disobey this holy. Chapter 4697. Chapter 4697. An angry drink came from the mysterious light. Even if it is only a generation of saints, the power contained in it is unimaginable. Therefore, all of this, Longfei never believes, can overcome this saint power. Just like the original embarrassment. So, let alone a sound that is only now, even if it is now in this holy light, the body of the saint is condensed, and Longfei will never feel the slightest accident. And as this voice came out, the beast is directly soft on the ground. The sage is angry and the earth is shaking. Not to mention, it is just a beast. At this time, the beast's eyes are full of death. Looking forward to Longfei, I hope that Longfei can save himself. But soon, he was disappointed. Because of Longfei, I have never looked at it from beginning to end. Longfei looked at the light that floated in front of him and stepped forward. Which one? Longfei asked in an understatement. This time, unlike before, it appeared directly before, and it was a woman. Among the saints of the heavens, Longfei is not without understanding. There is only one woman, that is the son-in-law. Therefore, there is nothing to guess at all. But now it is different. With just one voice, I really can't guess who it is. Don't let the saints dare to speak out. Among the holy lights, there is a will. Brush. Just like the world, control everything. The incomparable pressure is coming from this will. It was crushed between the moments. It seems that Longfei's indifferent attitude has already annoyed the existence of this supremacy. Brush. The pressure has swept across. Longfei slightly frowned, and immediately the force of the flesh was swaying, and the pressure was dispelled. But Xianzong and others were not so relaxed. The three men snorted and the blood flowed out of their mouths. The dragon flies slightly, while the backhand wave, the force of the last law is directly depicted in the void as a semicircle. Directly shield the figure of the three people. Humph. It was a sigh. However, this time the owner is the power of this saint. The power of the end of the law, how can this be? There was a mistake in the mysterious light of the sage's power. Obviously, facing the power of the last law. Even the saint, only shocked. Is it unexpected? The saints are able to take the helm. I control one kind of power that can compete with the heavens. Why not? Longfei said with a smile. Full of ridicule. With so much experience, Longfei is absolutely impossible to think of the so-called saints, really like the legendary noble. Just like the power in front of you, you have to work ***** your body. For the sake of it, it is just a human incense. However, in the knowledge of Longfei, the incense is an absolute difference from the belief. Belief in constant one. But incense is poisonous. Therefore, for this saint who is still a plaque in the plaque, Longfei's heart does not say or, and there is no interest in watching more. Of course, all of this is based on the fact that Longfei has this confidence. At least, for now, Longfei is confident that he has this strength and the sage's wrist. Even if it is no longer good, the power of this saint in front of him is not fearful in the eyes of Longfei. Ha ha ha, good one against the heavens. I don't know what to do, I can see, you hide the cultivation. But at best, even if you remove all the repairs, it is just the peak of the mixed. I have to say that this repair is not even a few in ancient times. But, the power of heaven, you can't imagine. Rebellious saints, your final result, only one dead end. In this saint's power, the voice is angry and said, "You have too much nonsense. If your body is standing here, I might be serious. But you, too." Longfei disdain. Between the backhands, directly hold the power of a saint in front of you. Although I don't know what plans you have in the world. But, you are dead, everything should be broken. And, if you want revenge, don't worry too much. It will take a long time for me to repeat myths, a myth that no gods are in the heavens. Longfei mouth corner pick. And this is his determination. His mission is to repeat the myth. However, if it is still the same as the previous myth, it is not called replay, but is called excavation. This result is not what Longfei wants. That is to say, from this moment on, in the heart of Longfei, there has already been a decision, that is, Tu Sheng. With this idea, it flashed through the mind of Longfei. The power of the saint in front of him, suddenly struggling with violent struggle. It seems that it is full of fear. Damn, ****** it. The general existence of ants, you actually want to go against the sky, you actually want to reverse the holy. Do you know that when you generate this kind of idea, your results are already doomed? You must die. The power in his hands is constantly roaring and struggling. I am extremely dissatisfied with the dragonfly. But I don't know, the more he is mad at this time. In the eyes of Longfei, the more disdain it is. Just like watching a clown. Because, in the consciousness of Longfei, the louder the call, the more waste. It's not the big voice of anyone, whoever is arrogant. Come on, I want to try it too. This is a sage. Longfei chuckled. The hand is slightly forced. Hey! A crackling sound. The power of the entire saint collapsed in the hands of Longfei. However, a collapse does not mean disappearing. Last time, at least the system broke out. But this time, Longfei did not wait for the system to prompt, and the power of the saint was swallowed into the belly between the backhands. Not only that, but even the power of the last sage that was blasted out was taken out of the system space by Longfei and swallowed. After the annexation, Longfei's eyes turned and locked the beast. The saints have been annihilated, and the remaining beasts are naturally not bosses. In an instant, the light of the boss on the body disappeared without a trace at this moment. And the breath of the body is also very weak. No, don't kill me. I am a beast of mountains and seas. Under the big luo, I can't break away from my vision. I can be useful to you. The beast is weak and open. Even if it is now, I still hold expectations. I hope Longfei can spare him a life. It's a pity, too much of course. De luo. Have you just heard the voice of the saint? The strength of Laozi is already the peak of the mixed yuan. Your strength, for me? There is a fart. Give me out. Longfei said coldly. Between the backhands, a punch hit. Boom. With a punch, the body of the beast suddenly collapsed and ceased to exist. At this time, it is in the middle of an unknown. Boom. Are you finally here? The person who jumped out of the heavens, you are a big dog. I really thought that if you jump out of the heavens, you can do whatever you want between the world. Chapter 4698. Chapter 4698. Boom. The picture is turning, and the yellow sand is in the middle of the sky. Longfei still maintains a punching posture. And in front of me, everything goes to silence. Yes, just in this moment. Longfei's brow wrinkled. There is absolutely no joy in the shadow of the saint. In the midst of it, he felt a pair of eyes, looking at himself through the space of endless folding. Sage. Longfei's heart is dignified. However, this kind of emotion only stayed in the heart of Longfei for a moment, and was directly swept away by Longfei. What about the saints? Long Fei came to this world for the sake of Tu Sheng. Even if the saints are in power, there is only one thing that Long Fei has to do, that is, the Buddha blocks the Buddha and the people stop the killing. What about the saint? Dragon tyrants are daring to be hard, but also afraid of the sages in the district. Long Fei said coldly. But this voice is only he can hear. At the same time, the world is dark. Among the dragonfly scorpions, it is getting colder and colder. He knows that this is a response. It is the confrontation between oneself and a saint. However, this state has not been deadlocked for too long. Because, at this time, the entire Yang Huang, above 8 directions, suddenly violent vibrations. The ground shakes the mountain. Long Fei suddenly looked back. Di soldiers. Long Fei sighed heavily. This kind of breath, with a strong force of the world. Yes, it is the world. The town is a world, and the town is peaceful. To achieve this level, you don't have to think about it, only the ancient artifacts. Long Fei brother, the artifact of the ancient emperor was born, that is, the social artifact you want, we are going to fight for it. Xiao Yue suddenly said. She already knew that Long Fei was waiting for this day. During the few days in Kunlun, Long Fei told her that she had not concealed everything. Therefore, at this time the emperor was born, Xiao Yue was very excited. The first thing that comes to mind is that I must help Long Fei to take this social artifact. It is Xianzong and Xian Yu are also moving. After all, this man has run through all of their lives. Don't say that it is an artifact, even if they let their own lives, they will not hesitate. And Long Fei, but it is lack of interest. No, the artifacts are born, and some people are more anxious than us. He will take the initiative to gather the artifacts, and then can't wait to be sent to me. Long Fei said faintly. For Yang Shoshi's mentality, Long Fei has already cleared his mind. Have ambitions, but also organic. It is a pity that there is no such thing. For a person like himself, who has doubled his bottom line 3 times and 4 times, he is absolutely impossible to let go. Moreover, Xiao Yue is by his side, and for him, it is a naked face. He wants shame. Therefore, in the heart of the dragon, it must have hated it. It is precisely this thought that Long Fei did not worry at all. As for others, they get artifacts. More impossible. The earth is ultimately the earth. It is not the absolute law of the strongest in the ancient world. A lot of mystery has long been buried in the ancient times. The social artifacts are related to the inheritance of the East. Therefore, what can be obtained can only be the modern air transport, which can protect the eastern land. That do we do nothing? Xiao Yue asked. Some lost. After all, she can feel the hunger in Long Fei's heart. Therefore, I really want to help Long Fei do something. Do, of course. What we have to do now is to go to Kunlun and wait for him. Long Fei said. The social artifact was born. Long Fei has already concluded that the time to open that world door is not far off. And that node is just above Kunlun. Instead of trying to dig into the artifacts, it is better to wait for the rabbits. Moreover, now Yang Shoshi has been recognized by the Xianmen air transport, and has already obtained the power of some emperor artifacts. Collecting the next artifacts is just a cliché and easy. Of course, there is another reason. It is the present self that has caught the attention of another world saint. It doesn't matter to myself. Long Fei is really afraid that another world door will open. At that time, a slap in the face will fall, and the whole earth will not exist. Therefore, the next time, Long Fei has to do is to make some preparations before the world gate opens. It can prevent the power of that world from being able to sweep onto the earth. At this time, the entire Yang Huang was also completely boiled. The social artifact was born. Directly touched the nerves of everyone. Artifacts, this power of breath, the cliff is an artifact. The artifact was born. No, I have to get it. As soon as I get the artifact, my life will be opened and I will enter the peak of my life. Yes, whoever grabs me, I will kill who. National shock. Everyone is full of passion because of this sudden artifact. In their view, infinite beauty is already beckoning to them. At the same time, in the eastern Xianmeng, Yang Shoshi still did not recover in the wrath. Even if the black robe messenger of Lulan was destroyed, his heart was not calmed down. Dog things, dare to play tricks in front of the League. I am really impatient. Yang Shoshi said coldly. Lord, I don't think they are a means. The scene just now I seem to have seen a figure. Someone said at this time. Shadow. Who is the figure? Yang Shoshi stunned and asked. Yes, the demon guarded by the saint. The man said that the tone of war was raging. Obviously he also knows. This news, for Yang Shoshi, definitely touched the scales. Really. The next moment, this is the Yang Shoshi burned in anger, and suddenly, the killing of the body is bursting. Still. Yang Shoshi screamed and his body suddenly swelled. Even more in this moment. Behind it, 3 giant tripods emerged directly. Every singer has a suffocating sense of horror. And with the appearance of these 3 giant tripods, on the top of Yang Huang, a sudden burst of 6 glaring lights. In an instant, everyone suddenly stunned. The great emperor, the Lord, is the emperor. The great emperor Jioding, the instrument of the world, all born. Lord, this is your chance. The 3 people one after another did not arrive. As if they had expected that the social artifacts were born, their lords would be able to cross the world and be unmatched. And Yang Shoshi, his face also showed a touch of excitement at this time. Ha ha ha, God bless me too. Sure enough, Xianmen gas is in me. I am recognized by Xianmen, I am the only one in the world. What legend, what evil demon, everything, all are shit. If Yang Shoshi is crazy. When the social artifact was born, it directly caused him to suppress the wild vision in his heart. This moment, he has already determined. He is the wave of this era. It is the pinnacle of all power. You 3, prepare for it, and lead me to the practice of Xianmeng. This time, the League wants to be their face, collect artifacts, and then open the world. Yang Shoshi's eyes are condensed and he said, You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.